Ayo. What's good, Commanders family? Welcome back to Gerard B TV and welcome to the first episode of Commanders Reality Check, okay? This is going to be a weekly show. We can separate what's real, what's hype, and what still need receipts, all right? So some weeks we going to have guests. Some weeks it's just going to be me in the chat, all right? The day and the time will move around, but every week we putting the biggest Washington Commanders storylines on trial, straight up, no chase. And after the first week of training camp, we got plenty of evidence to examine. JD appears to be growing more comfortable in David Blough's offense. The defense looks faster and more aggressive under Daronte Jones. Young players are making noise. Position battles are beginning to take shape. And then AP decided to throw Stefon Diggs in the middle of the entire situation. All right, Washington is bringing Diggs in on a one-year deal up to $12 million. Okay, we all rapped about it yesterday, and we're going to continue yapping about it today. All right, today I'm joined by my guy, Jayden over there at Bleeding B&G. You can check him out at Stunning Showtime. All right, Rio Robinson will be joining us around 2 p.m. All right, but we're going to be talking about Diggs, JD, the young receivers, the tight ends, the running backs, Daronte Jones, Odafe, Sonny, hey, everybody, son. We're going to go to the whole gambit. Well, we're not listing practice highlights, you know what I'm saying? Commanders slapping our hands, you know what I'm saying? Everybody catching touchdowns in August. Everybody's in the best shape of their life. Every new coordinator looks like a genius. But today we're asking, what can we really trust? And as you come into the building, hit that like button. Subscribe up to Gerard B TV if you are new. And let me know, what are you watching? Give me your biggest takeaways and everything in between regarding the Commanders' first week of training camp, I should say. So let's get right into this bad boy. So yeah, man, I got my man Jayden in the building, son. You know what I'm saying? He out here. Appreciate you for joining me on the inaugural episode. Let me go ahead and cut this tunes up off. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't like the music. I dig it. It keeps me in a good vibe. But before we get surgical with this bad boy, son, because you is surgical, you one of the best out here.
I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. 1 week in camp, we got Steph Diggs coming to Washington. Real quick take. What's your current emotional state as a Commanders fan?
I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. I mean, I can't wait for the season to start. I think that just comes with football being in the air. You know, we getting closer to September. So I was excited before we signed Stefon Diggs. But the fact that we added Stefon Diggs, one of my favorite football players of all time. I remember watching him playing at Good Counsel in 2010. We played in a 7-on-7 jamboree. And I remember what I saw as a sophomore in high school that day. I was like, yeah, this is otherworldly. And he just continued to follow that up for the next 16 years of our lives. So, I mean, I'm ecstatic that he's back in the DMV. I wasn't necessarily expecting it because while I love Stefon Diggs as the football player, I know with Stefon Diggs, the person, and I think I alluded to it on a couple of streams that I did where I said, I'm 30 years old, so I remember being a Washington fan for about 25 of those. In my 25 years of being a Washington fan, I haven't seen as many exotic fronts, or I didn't see as many exotic fronts and as many exotic packages as I saw from a decent defensive front as I saw on Monday. I saw a 3-3-5, I saw a 3-4, I saw a 4-3. So when they say that this defense is going to be multiple, and that's something that I heard from a bunch of people prior to training camp, it just further validated that, oh yeah, this is going to be a multiplicity-based defense.
No, that's real. Even when I went out there on Saturday, right, and you know that was like the first practice or whatever that we could go to. It was hype and everything, but I couldn't tell you what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? You had Bamas flying around. You had different people doing different things that I wasn't familiar with their game. And to everybody's point in the fan base now that's getting hype, getting hip, I should say. Yeah, Jeremy Reeves is out there a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Revo was out there a lot for sure. I mean. And we're gonna see what that's coming about, you know what I'm saying? But I don't wanna pump the brake. I don't want to jump too far ahead just yet. Just trying to get everything else together on my end. All right, bet. So look, we gotta begin with the story, all right, that walked through the front door, you know what I'm saying, carrying a flamethrower yesterday. We gotta start off with the man that you was just alluding to, Steph Diggs. Now you did mention how he's really walking in as like a Hall of Famer already. You know what I'm saying, Jai? Like, it felt like to me, I posted this on Twitter yesterday. It felt like back when we were supposed to get KD the second time, I think it was 16 for the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? That's what this feels like now. It feels like we getting KD because his resume speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? I think the lowest reception total he had when he played more than 70, when he played 75% of the season was 700 yards. You know what I'm saying? And that was his rookie season. Other than that, he's been hooping. You know what I'm saying? Went to Buffalo. I can't believe they did him like that in Minnesota. That was like, you let him go for Adam Thielen, basically. That was
You know what
trash.
that was, though? That was Kirk and Adam being buddies. Steph wasn't a part of the good old boy club. We know exactly what that was.
But that was so trash. It's like, and then you get to Buffalo, go for 1,500 yards. Get Josh Allen on the MVP map immediately. You know what I'm saying? Then he goes to Houston. You know what I'm saying? Got injured. Then he goes to New England. Your boy Drake May, Drizzy, MVP conversation. So now he's with, I would say, arguably, I'm gonna say it plainly, the best quarterback he's played with. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's arguably.
My man, see, that's why we on the same accord, son. I appreciate you for letting me jump all the way over there because I'm hyped. I'm over the top. I'm over the top with it. So let me ask you a question, young. Looking at this right here, you see the top 10 wide receiver offensive grades for PFF right here, right? And we got 2 of the top 10 now. We was like in no man's land 2 days ago. You feel me? Now we got 2 of the top 10. So is this a luxury addition because a talented player was available, or is this an admission, okay, that Washington did not completely trust the receiver room behind Terry McLaurin? What you think?
I said on my channel the other day, sometimes we got to take, I know that we like looking at like the front office personnel and everybody that's situated in the NFL. I love we like looking at them and putting them on a higher pedestal, but sometimes we got to take their words for surface level, just like we would do everybody else. I wholeheartedly believe that Adam Peters just wanted to see what was in that wide receiver room over the first week of camp. It took him 6 days to evaluate it. And I understand that because Stefon Diggs going into his age 32, going on 33 season, this is a guy that didn't need an offseason. Stefon Diggs is a professional pass catcher at this point. While he's lost a step in speed and things of that nature, he has the nuances of the receiver position down. It's reasons why him and Davante Adams has aged so gracefully, right? So the fact that he knew that he had Stefon Diggs on the back burner, and we've learned that with the reports that have come out more recently prior to Stefon Diggs signing. It's like, oh, it's just inevitable at this point. It's going to happen. It's a matter of when, and if not it. And Adam Peters knew that as well. Like, for the insiders to know that, Adam Peters knew it as well. So he knew he had Stefon Diggs in the back pocket. And I truly think that he just wanted to use the first week of training camp to see what the wide receivers were producing. And in my honest opinion, the day that I was out there and what I've been reading follow-up from camp, they haven't been doing that bad upgrade to that wide receiver room. So I'm always going to be in favor of making the Washington Commanders better.
Okay. Do you think any of the, you know how Adam Peters is always at practice, do you think they seen anything in practices that, we looking at practice for one thing, but they obviously know what exactly they're looking at. Do you think they seen some things that first week of camp and they was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Because you always going to get a bad rep. Ain't nobody going to have a perfect day. So, I'll be naive to think that everybody has had amazing days out there because we got like having the most elite talent in that room. But the thing is, like I said, I truly believe that they wanted to see what they was going to have. So they went into camp with this preconceived notion of, let's see what we're going to deal with or what we have and what the guys are capable of that's already in that room, and see how Stefon Diggs can supplement it. See if Stefon Diggs can potentially be a distraction in any sense of the word, like taking snaps away from young guys and things of that nature. And what I honestly believe is that they saw that a guy like Antonio Williams isn't going to be stagnated by his development, isn't going to be stagnated by a guy like Stefon Diggs. So they went ahead and made that move that, like I said, I believe they had Stefon Diggs in the back pocket. No Diddy, because I know how the connotations with Steph. But I believe they had Steph in the back pocket for about 2 months now. Like he's been in the DMV working out and hasn't left. Like he's been in Paint Branch working out since May, bro. Like I feel like this has been inevitable for a minute now.
And he ain't had to buy no crib. No shots. But that was a good segue, son. The receiver hierarchy, because look, Diggs coming in, he pushing everybody down. I did a video yesterday. I was like, look, bro, he pushing everybody down, everybody into their natural spots, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at some of the names now, it makes you feel a little bit better when you read some of these names, okay? So you know Terry McLaurin is our unquestioned number one, but Stefon Diggs is like his equal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a 1A, 1B type situation. It's the first time Terry McLaurin's ever played with somebody that his name ring more bells than him. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Right.
Like, let's keep it a spade a spade. Like, Terry McLaurin gets signed by somebody, it's not going on TMZ. I'm just letting y'all know it's levels to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, Stefon Diggs did say, look, I'm the best wide receiver 2 in the NFL. That's a little cappish, you know what I'm saying? But he top 10. He's a top 10 wide receiver 2, maybe a top 5, depending on who you're asking. I know we a top 10 wide receiver duo with just Terry and Diggs right now, which is fire. But after that, you got Antonio Williams, Luke McCaffrey, De'Ami Brown, Traylon Burks, and the rest of the room. All right. Who was your third receiver today? Who's your fourth receiver today? Who's your fifth receiver today?
I think that's just gonna be like personnel based at this point. So like if we going out in 11 personnel today, and I'm not saying that this can't change, because one thing that a David Blough's offense I think is going to do, from what I've saw and what I believe, just based off of him going off of the foundational principles of a Ben Johnson offense and the Kevin O'Connell offense, is that they're going to have a lot of wide receivers playing a lot of different roles. They're going to have a lot of positional versatility in that wide receiver room. The thing is, like, Terry McLaurin almost like gave it away when he was running those option routes in that De'Ami Brown documentary. Like, he's going to be running routes from the slot. He's going to be running more routes from the wide position than he's ever run before, because Cliff had him lined up on the left side as an X. So maybe today, on today's August 6th, 2023. I mean, 2026. In 11 personnel, I can see a scenario where Terry McLaurin and Traylon Burks are on the outside with Stefon Diggs in the slot. But I do think that Stefon Diggs is in the point of his career where he's never going to play 100% of the snaps anymore. So then that can divert into Terry McLaurin and Stefon Diggs being on the boundary with Antonio Williams on the slot. But I do think that those are probably the top 4 receivers if you're going just straight off 11 personnel. But I think that we're going to be multiple offense just as we are defense. So I believe we're going to be running a lot of different personnel, because I do think that we're going to be a run-heavy team. And a guy like Traylon Burks is going to be more useful than a guy like Stefon Diggs, who has no interest in blocking at this point in his career. So it's just like picking your flavor, going against your matchups. But I do think Terry McLaurin, Stefon Diggs, Traylon Burks, and Antonio Williams are the first 4 on the depth chart.
That's a bet. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Let me see. Yeah, Terry, Stefon, Antonio. I'm liking Luke right now, so I got Luke 4. You know what I'm saying? 5. Shit, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I might be torn here. I like me some De'Ami Brown. You know what I'm saying? He different cat. You know what I'm saying? Got that long speed. Ain't nobody else in the roster besides Terry got that. And bring me Antonio Williams.
Can I play devil's advocate real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
Who else in that wide receiver room like Traylon Burks?
I know, bro. Jayden Bradley, but that's all I got. But nah, Traylon Burks, man, I'm with it. I like Traylon Burks, bro. I think matter of fact, I was watching the one-on-one drills that JB Finley posted. Right? And I think you might have even talked about it yesterday. I think I might have seen you post something on X about it yesterday as well. But Traylon Burks basically like little boy Rasul Douglas. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, I like that. Okay, so yeah, Traylon Burks. I guess, yeah, you're right. So we keep it 6 or 7. What you think?
I mean, I think we probably end up with 7, because I only think we're keeping 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think
so 4 running backs, 4 tight ends.
I think both of those guys have the possibility of being on the practice squad and not being picked up on waivers. So I think that we'll have room for 7 wide receivers. And I honestly think De'Ami Brown and Van Jefferson are fighting for that last 7th spot.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's going to come to special teams, to be honest with you. Right? It's going to be what more value can you bring? And I think that's going to lean toward documentary De'Ami. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, real quick, smash that like button if you have not. Please smash that like button. Get this joint out to more people. Much appreciated. El Bizzle, appreciate the $2. My guy. I think you asked me a question a little while ago, and I think that's the perfect segue, because he was talking about, like, what was it? Where was it? Oh, here it go. He said, what's the fantasy impact of Diggs joining the team? Will this free up more receptions for Terry? Now, I'm gonna answer the fantasy impact real quick because I do a little fantasy football. I don't know. Do you do a little fantasy football, Jalen?
I do a lot of fantasy football.
I'm gonna let you jump on this question too. Then, so I think with the fantasy impact for Diggs joining the team, it's gonna improve Jayden Daniels' numbers. It's gonna give you. If you wasn't thinking about drafting JD, you need to draft JD. I don't know why you wasn't trying to draft JD. He's a dual threat legend out this joint. Touchdown nightmare. What is going to help him out at when we get into like certain parts of the field, 20 yards and in, yeah, bruh, he got too many options now. You got Chigga Conquer on the field. You got Rashad White. You're going to have Terry. You're going to have Stefon Diggs, Antonio Williams. Stefon going to take a lot of coverage away. Terry going to take a lot of coverage away. So, yeah, I think that's going to help out. And as far as the second part, will this free up more receptions for Terry? I think it's going to free up the quarterback's vision of Terry. I don't know if it's going to help Terry have more receptions. It might make Terry have more impactful receptions. I'm going to say it like that. What you got, Jalen?
I like the way you put that because I don't think it's going to help Terry McLaurin's numbers at all. Terry McLaurin has never been a high target earner, like ever in his career, no matter how much everybody loves him in the fan base. I love him too, but he's never been a guy that's demanded a high target share. Even with Jayden Daniels in 2024, like his reception total wasn't crazy. The thing that we marvel about in that season was his touchdown total, which I've always said is a quarterback dependent stat. Love Terry McLaurin, but I do think that he'll have a negative impact on his fantasy game. But I agree with you that I think he'll have more impactful receptions because he'll be playing in more impactful games and more competitive games. Same thing, though. I think that it boosts Jayden Daniels. I was already projecting Jayden to be a top 3 quarterback this year. So I think that just further, as far as fantasy, in real life too, but we talking about fantasy. But I think that just solidifies that, like, Jayden Daniels to the moon for fantasy 2026.
Okay. Now, you did mention the target share aspect just now, and that is a perfect kind of a segue, if you will. I'm going to leave that up because I want y'all to smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, no chase. Who loses opportunities, bro? Like we, you got to talk about the other side of the move because the targets is finite. You know what I'm saying? Just like roster spots. So who loses the most opportunities because Steph Diggs is here now, in your opinion?
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Terry McLaurin. Because this is
Give
the
me
best
like an example of what kind of cut you think he taking.
Oh, like number, like I mean, I don't really.
So if he was getting 150 targets, which was David Blough said something to like 10 targets per game, I said cap.
I don't think that ever was a thing.
I said 100. I said 150 targets. You know what I'm saying? I took 20 off of it. So I said about 150 targets for Terry. Is that still the same case, or now does that 150 more look like 125?
I mean, it's not a drastic cut by any means, but
Okay.
I mean, when you ask like who's going to be negatively impacted, I can see that 150 that you projected being 130, 125, and even in like a case where, because I'm pretty sure if you were projecting Terry to get 150 targets, you were projecting Chig to get somewhere around like 90 or so, right? Like 90 to 100, right?
Yeah.
So I can see a scenario where he drops down to 75, 70, with almost like 50 receptions. Because I think that we're going to use Chig in a multiplicity of ways. Like, I think Chig going to be running end arounds and all that shit. So I think he's going to be doing.
Oh my God.
No, I'm dead serious. I think he's going to be doing a lot more than just the receiving game. So I mean, I'm not going to look at his targets as indicative of his success, if you get what I'm saying, or if he validated his contract signing. So somewhere around like 55 receptions for him for about 700 yards receiving, and then 125 all rushing yards or all-purpose yards. Yep. I think that's a solid season for Chig Okonkwo.
Okay. Do you think because Diggs is more of an inside-outside weapon, he can play on the outside and win on the outside, but he's at this point in his career, he's better off, I would feel like, in the inside. Do you feel like that changes up how they're going to utilize? And I know we're going to have so many multiple situations, but I'm thinking about Luke McCaffrey. We think of him as a big slot, right? You got Antonio Williams, another slot that plays inside-outside. How does this all work out? How do you think this is going? Like, how do you think it's going to? How do you think that's going to affect?
That's why I said I think with the foundational principles of a David Blough offense, right? Think about Ben Johnson offense. Like it got to a point where at the beginning of last year, just sticking in terms of Ben Johnson, the Bears were spamming Rome Odunze. You play fantasy, you know, like the first 3 weeks, like Rome Odunze was like the wide receiver one in entire fantasy. And then it moved, and eventually towards the end of the year, it became Luther Burden and the Coast and Loveland show, right? And I think that's just a foundational principle of Ben Johnson's offense is not necessarily spamming guys, but creating as many equal opportunities for as much catch and run opportunities as possible. I think David Blough is of the school of he doesn't want as many like 50-50 opportunities. He wants to scheme guys open. So having 4 or 5 guys that can play X, Y, and Z, I think that's not going to do anything but help the offense. I don't necessarily see a negative impact at all other than like manipulating defenses because like I said, even when I was alluding to the 11 personnel, the only person that I think doesn't necessarily have that positional versatility is a Treylon Burks, because even when you stick a Treylon Burks out there at an X, Terry McLaurin, who's our perceived X, who was our perceived top 15 wide receiver, he moves to the Y at that point, because I don't necessarily see a scenario where Treylon Burks is off the ball and doing a lot of like motion and things of that nature. So having many guys doing many different things, I just think is a benefit, especially to this style of offense.
Got you. Now that makes sense. That makes perfect sense for sure. That makes perfect sense. And now, when I was listening, you know, ESPN, everybody, all the pundits that was doubting us and now starting to glaze us, right? You see, you know the media spin on this.
That's
right?
how it go.
It's always like that. So my question to you is, has Washington ceilings changed a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Because you got Terry and Steph in the same receiver room now. Does this make it a top 5 offense in the NFC?
Has it changed because of Stefon Diggs?
Well, no, I'm not asking has it changed
or has it changed from like last year to this year? Like,
well, yeah, no, it definitely changed. But no, I'm saying like, does this make it a top 5 offense
with the Steph signing?
Yeah.
I gotta see it. I gotta see it on paper. I'll go out on a limb just because I'm a Washington Commander fan and say yeah, because I do see the potential. But I gotta see what David Blough offense first. Like, I feel like that's a big independent variable that like got to take into account for me to be able to like answer that question in jest. But just based off of personnel, honestly, behind the Cowboys in the NFC, I don't really see too many offenses having much more firepower than us. I think we right in line with like the Seahawks. I remember the Seahawks took a drop off in the running back position, but I think we got a wide receiver room that like rivals the Seahawks.
I like that. Man, the Seahawks on Hard Knocks, and I ain't heard nobody talking about that joint. That's crazy.
I ain't even watched that joint.
I think it's gonna be too dry, to be honest with you, but what do I know?
Hard Knocks ain't hit the same for the last couple of years, though. I think the last good Hard Knocks was the Giants joint, and they never doing that again.
They're never doing that again.
They're never doing that again.
That executive definitely got fired, but he got that parachute package on the way out for sure. Great idea, but you costing us money.
Amazing production, and I hate the root for the Giants, but that was one of the best seasons.
I was locked in. I think the whole nation was watching that joint, son. They was like, "This is too good of an idea. This is too futuristic. We ain't ready for that." All right. So here's my whole little take on that the Diggs and the how the offense looks situation. All right. He does not eliminate the need for young wide receivers to develop. That's the key. I like that about Stefon because he's a mentor at the end of the day. You've seen him work with Jayden Bradley in the summer and things like that. So he got familiarity with the team, if you will, using the footballs already. You know what I'm saying? The right way. Another shot. But then you got Luke McCaffrey. He gonna earn his opportunities. Still, I think Luke not gonna lose no sleep as well. I think he's straight. You know what I'm saying? His name's starting to ring bells. He pressing Bama's up off him. You seen what he did to Mikey yesterday. I mean, day before yesterday. Ain't no capping that man rap. You know what I'm saying? Then like you said, Treylon Burks. He got to prove that he deserves it, bro. As long as he keep proving it, he on this roster because he's different than everybody else. Different body type and everything. And I think if we want to keep it honest, this ain't a charity tour from Diggs, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know he got a chip on his shoulder. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, y'all almost left me out the league. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got me like I'm chopped liver. I just had 1,000 yards last year and played 60% of the snaps. And I mean, yeah, he had one of them Mike Evans, as Rio called him, the Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin type 1,000 yards where he just eked over that joint right by a first down. But hey, that helped that contract out. It got him signed. You know what I'm saying?
But when you're doing that in only 51% of the snaps, that's what Mike Evans and Terry wasn't doing. So like, I don't even, and I'll be the first.
He was right off the ACL jump.
That's why I said I'll be the first to admit. Has Stefon Diggs lost a couple steps? Yeah, but like you said at the beginning of the stream, it's levels to this shit. Some dudes got steps to lose, and he just one of those guys that had a couple of steps to lose because what he lost in speed and whatever acceleration and agility he had, he picked up in craftiness. He was always one of the craftier route runners in the game. And the reason that I was so excited about the drafting of Antonio Williams, I made a tweet the draft night, like the moment we selected him. I said, this is Jayden Daniels' first sudden separator in his entire life as a Washington Commander quarterback, somebody that gets open instantly. While I love Terry McLaurin, got a signed jersey and everything, he is not a sudden separator. That's not his game. Well, guess what? We got the sensei, the guru of sudden separation in Stefon Diggs. This is somebody that still, while losing the steps, still had higher separation targets than a guy like JSN, than a guy like Chris Olave last year. So the separation rate is still there. It's still elite. And when you get deeper into the numbers, when you consider the fact that he played half of the snap shares, he's still an elite wide receiver. This is not your typical 32-year-old wide receiver.
And as he says this, I was gonna move on to another section, but we got to pull up with a Hall of Fame type situation. Look like this, y'all. It's called growth. You see this? You see this man numbers? Let me blow it up so y'all can see it in its entirety. I want y'all to check this out, man. All right, his rookie season, 720 yards. I think Stephen A said it earlier. Nah, that was about the New England Patriots. I ain't even gonna hold you on that. That was a bad take. 720 yards. You know what I'm saying? Was a low year. Bruh, we had to get Debo for that. You know what I'm saying?
Backflips for 720 yards right now from a wide receiver too.
Dog,
we had to spam Debo for that as our wide receiver one for him to get that.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't look. And then as you look at his career arc, right? And I'm just saying, thousand. This Bama is about to be. It's a third team. He about to have 1,000-yard. He about to be 1,000-yard receiver for a third team. Or was it a 1, 2, 3, a fourth team? My bad. A fourth team. I think that's one of 3 receivers that's ever done that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm rocking. I like the fact that we picked up Stefon Diggs for sure. That joint, like when I got the alert, I had to stop doing everything I was doing and get to it immediately. Like, yeah, we got that, man. We pull up that thumbnail I've been holding for a month. You know what I'm saying? But look, now we got to widen the lens out a little bit. We got to widen the lens out just a little bit. All right, because the biggest offensive development in week 1, you know what it was. It's Jayden Daniels, man. Increasingly comfortable, all right, in David Blough's offense. The throws he's making, all the clips that we've been seeing, you know what I'm saying? The man is nails, bro. Throwing on the run, you know what I'm saying? Doing checks at the line, really going blow for blow with Daronte Jones in that scheme that they running out that joint. So let me ask you, what matters to you more right now? Jayden completing touchdowns in practice, or the reports about him processing the offense, operating under center, handling the huddle, and getting the ball out on time? So what are you more excited about?
I mean, of course, it's the progressive, because as somebody that's like a training camp vet at this point, I've been to training camps every year since 2021. A lot of those touchdowns, that ain't a flex. It's just like I say that to say, like, you start looking at camp like a keen eye. Like, I look at it differently than I looked at it 5 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So like a lot of those touchdowns are subjective now. So like sometimes it's like the other day I seen them post they called it a touchdown by K-Tron Island, but he was tagged up. I'm like, are we giving that a touchdown in real life because we wondering if he's going to run through the dude's face when it's not a touchdown? Or are we just calling it a touchdown just to get it hype on social media? So a lot of those touchdowns are subjective at points. But one thing that you can't really call subjective is like the evidence is going to show in the progression, in the developments and things of that nature. And I don't think that it's a coincidence that with every passing day, Jayden just keeps getting better and better and better as we keep unlocking the offense, and he's getting more familiar and comfortable with this new scheme.
No, that's real. That's real. I can agree with you on that. I'm definitely not interested in like the camp touchdowns and all of that. You know what I'm saying? When we get the regular season, yeah, give me 50 touchdowns from JD. That's what I'm looking for. Something crazy like back in the Peyton Manning and Tom Brady era when they was bombs over Baghdad. Like, we ain't seen 2 quarterbacks with 50 touchdowns in a season since. You know what I'm saying? Them was the days. All right, but, you know, like you just said, what gets my attention is that command of the offense that he is showing. You know what I'm saying? Can he get everybody lined up? Can he control the operation? You know what I'm saying? Can he recognize the pressure? And from what we hearing, you know, and seeing, appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? He's doing exactly that. And that stuff travels. And we got joint practice coming up. Obviously, we at the crib with it, but you know what I'm saying, next week gonna be fun. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna have our second episode of this joint right here next Thursday. So that's definitely tap in. You know what I'm saying? But he got weapons now. He got a lot of weapons, bro. Tight ends, running backs. Oh my. You know what I'm saying? We got 5 tight ends, bro. We got 5 tight ends that's out here. Really, 4 of them out there is all pass catches. You got one that's an elite blocker. All right. And that's really the most interesting development is that every day I hear about a different tight end that's cooking. Every day. From Ben Sinnott, right, who was like, before the offseason started, the fan base is ready to throw him away. You know what I'm saying? You got Kosin Yankov, who y'all like, it feel like, I don't know, I feel like he on Ben Sinnott heels, but because Ben Sinnott's a better more versatile player, I guess more consistent, if you will, in some of the other things that he has to do with the tight end, he's ahead of Kosin Yankov. But Kosin Yankov, y'all like be hooping out there. Then you got the model Lawrence Cager out there joint catching diving passes from 5. And I'm like, dog, Lawrence Cager catching passes from 5? What's going on out there? Like David Blough trying to use, like how many tight ends is he trying to have on the roster? That's kind of where I'm getting at. I'm like, I don't know how he gonna utilize all these tight ends. I get we're gonna be tight end heavy. We're gonna be running back heavy. I see that. Every room on our team for real is stacked, but the tight end room especially. It's almost like our linebacker room. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they all athletic. You know what I'm saying? And they just like do a lot of the same stuff. So let me separate a little bit of the roster buzz from some of the relevance out there that you might have been seeing or you've been hearing or some analysis that you've been doing. Do you think Ben Sinnott is going to become a legitimate offensive weapon?
I do. I made a video 2 months ago, and I don't want to seem like I'm running a victory lap.
Oh no, victory lap, man! Clap it up, man.
I said that this player will be the key to unlocking the Commanders' offense in 2026, and it was Ben Sinnott. So to hear that he's being featured predominantly in training camp makes me feel all that more vindicated because I'm just looking at and I'm reading the tea leaves and I just simply pay attention. When you look at David Blough and they tell you that he's bringing in an outside zone scheme, they tell you that he's bringing in influences from a Kevin O'Connell, from a Ben Johnson, from the Shanahan tree. You think of the type of players that fit that offense, Ben Sinnott is the type of player that fits that offense to the T. And this is the thing. Adam Peters told us the day that we drafted Ben Sinnott that he envisioned Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle. Kyle Juszczyk is a fullback. So I don't know where the disconnect was because when he signed or when he hired Cliff Kingsbury, he should have known that we weren't going to be using Ben Sinnott as a goddamn fullback. And then to hear Ben Sinnott say in that interview he did with B-Mitch and Finley, basically like he was doing everything right, but he just knew going in on Sundays that he wasn't going to get the reps because of the type of admiration that Cliff Kingsbury had for a guy like Zach Ertz. And to an extent, I get it. Zach Ertz is a guy that can argue a Hall of Fame caliber career, but at some point you gotta see what these guys are capable of, especially like last year in a lost season. By week 8 last year, we knew that this season was done. We knew that we wasn't going to the playoffs. So that's when I started to get frustrated with the lack of Ben Sinnott usage. So to hear that he's being featured in this offense, an offense that I think is going to amplify his skill set, I believe it. And I think that we're going to see it translate into the regular season.
Okay. And you mentioned Kosin Yankov, and so I got to bring him up because, you didn't mention Kosin Yankov, but when you said something about week 8, I immediately thought, yeah, Ben Sinnott got all his targets taken away by Kosin Yankov. So was that a Cliff Kingsbury thing, or is Kosin Yankov really fighting for an actual role this season? Is he really going? You think he's going to make the roster? You think
we say that, but then we look up and Kosin Yankov still only had like 10 targets last year, right? So, and Ben Sinnott didn't have like much more, but it was the Zach Ertz show and it wasn't the anybody else show. I'm not here to say that Kosin Yankov isn't a more traditional tight end than Ben Sinnott. I've always thought that Ben Sinnott was of that hybrid H-back role since we drafted him. So to hear or for you to presume that Kosin Yankov is a better fit for Cliff Kingsbury, that doesn't like alarm me by any means, or that doesn't like catch me off guard by any means, because that's honestly something that I would expect.
That makes sense. All right, last question about the tight ends, real quick. Now, we gonna be with Stefon Diggs being added. All right. And we talked about the different formations. Do you think, and I know this is a tough question because we ain't got to the season yet. We ain't really seen the tendencies. But my brain's already thinking, you know what I'm saying, in the future. You know what I'm saying? With the way we talking, do we have the need to really carry 4 tight ends if we got a wide receiver 2 now? Like, shouldn't we just carry 3 and call it a day?
Nah, I think we should carry forward because I think we're gonna be running a lot of heavy personnel. I think we're gonna be running a lot of 12 and 13 sets.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean that's the biggest reason why. I think we're gonna need as many tight ends with hands on deck as possible because we're going to. I think this offense is going to be tight end centric and heavy run base. So I mean,
okay. Now I agree with that. And as you move on to the run base, I love how you just segueing us right down the board. I appreciate you, my dog. The running back room, young, it's another piece where practice buzz has been abound, bro. You seen Ja'Cory out this joint. Look like he done picked up about 10 pounds of just straight up muscle. Still got his explosion. Catching the ball at the backfield, working on his pass protection. Rashad White out here catching passes. Getting blown up by Sonny Styles, though. You know, Sonny wasn't playing in that pass protecting drill at all. You know what I'm saying? But the running backs look good. You know, and obviously we don't have pads on every day, but Tron Allen was making a little noise when the pads came on. You know what I'm saying? So my quick question for you: how does this running back committee work? How is it going to work without it being a tail?
Man, I made a tweet this morning after the team dropped a little highlight they did of Bill catching the pass out of the backfield and making Nick Cross missing the flats.
He snatched.
I said, bro, he's so tough. He's so tough. I don't know why everybody wants him to be a backup so bad. From people in the fan base to people on the beat, I don't understand the hesitation with making Bill your feature back. As I've always said on my channel for the entirety of this offseason, this is a guy that had 8 touchdowns and 800 yards while being in the doghouse for 6 weeks. So imagine what his stats would have looked like if he wasn't being scapegoated by Cliff Kingsbury. Now, this is the thing. Does he need to hold on to the ball? Absolutely. But he ain't the first rookie to have fumbling issues, and he ain't the first rookie to be scapegoated by a coach or offensive coordinator that is no longer here. That was on his way to losing his job. So I think that in this outside zone-based scheme, that is predicated on a run, that is predicated on heavy play action. I think that this is the best scheme for Bill's skill set because I think he's a one-cut and go runner with elite vision. I think that Bill should be the RB1, and I've been on record as saying that I think he runs for at least 1,200 yards this season.
And that's nuts. I think so, too. I think he's going to do that, and I think he's going to have a niece of a 200 to 300 receiving yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the man can catch. You seen – that snatch right there showed me all I needed to see, man. He knew Nick Cross was coming. He seen him before he caught the ball. Snatched the joint. As he's snatching it, if you look at his legs, he made sure he was positioned for that spin move immediately. Now, I know Nick Cross is playing against a teammate. In the game, Nick Cross would have made a much more, I would say, a valiant attempt to try and tackle.
I'm with you, but I still don't think he was.
I still don't think he was tackling that man. That spin move was too clean.
I agree with you. He did kind of like tag off, and I still don't think he was making that tackle.
Man, that joint. If y'all ain't seen that joint, y'all need to go check that. I don't know how you ain't seen. If you watching this channel, I don't know how you ain't seen that joint yet. All right, so let me ask you about Rashad White. All right, now he mentioned how the chemistry with Jayden Daniels and his presser. You know what I'm saying? How he's where the quarterback needs him to be at all times. How do you feel Rashad White fits into this offense? Like, what do you think his best attributes? Not best attributes. What do you think his projection is, if you will? Like, receiving yards, rushing yards.
I wouldn't mind if Rashad White was a third down back and a third down back, pass catching back only, because I think that's the role that he's elite at. Unlike a lot of people in the base, I watched the entirety of the NFL. Rashad White has vision. Like, Rashad White got the vision of Stevie Wonder. I'm gonna call it spade, bro. And in this outside zone system, bro, and where you need vision, I don't know how effective he's gonna be running the ball in this run scheme. But one thing that I know he's going to be effective in, because it's what he's always been effective in each and every year he's been in the NFL, is being a pass catcher. Now, prior to the signing or after the signing, I am watching a little more film. I didn't know he was as good of a pass blocker as he was. And that's something that I've always been keen on watching with running backs. I think I was just spoiled by Clinton Portis because he was the best in the league for so long. So I like keying in on that when I evaluate running backs. But he elite at being a pass blocker and a pass catcher. So I say that to say, like, it's not a bad thing to just be a third down back. If I want Bill to be my feature back, there can only be one feature back. That's why he's the feature. And if Rachaad White has to fill in that third down role, I think he's perfectly applicable of doing that, and I think he's fully capable of doing that. Now, you talked about some stat lines and things of that nature. I think that he's capable of having like 250 receiving yards or 300 receiving yards on 20 to 30 catches. I think he's fully capable of doing what Austin Eckler did in 2024. And Austin Eckler wasn't even healthy that entire year. But yeah, and that's what I think. And I think Austin Eckler honestly gave you more in the run game than what I'm projecting Rachaad White to be. So if he can be just an elite pass catcher, an elite pass blocker, he's going to have a role on third down. We're going to be in third down a lot. So, I mean, I definitely think that he's going to make an impact this season.
Okay. And so you mentioned he's not as good of a runner as Eckler was. Do you think that's – I know that's not indirectly why we bought into Kaytron Allen in the draft. It's just that's how the value on the board fell.
I think that I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. Yeah, that's how you feel about Kaytron. You beat me to the punch.
No, I think Kaytron he was a value pick of all the picks in the draft. I think him and Joshua Joseph was probably the more value-based picks because honestly, we had guys in those rooms because I think they do like a guy like Jeremy McNichol, but I think that those are guys that you just even like with the edge rushers. We brought in Odafe Oweh. We brought in Caleb Von Chason. We're presuming that Dorrance Armstrong is coming back, but that didn't stop us from bringing in Joshua Joseph, who has been one of the studs over the first week of camp, right? So I think like as Adam Peters got later and later in the draft, specifically day 3, all those picks were value based at that point.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. I'm rolling. I'm looking forward to the preseason game just for these skill positions, right? And I'm talking about the back end. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what Kaytron Allen really do when somebody trying to knock his block off. You know what I'm saying? Because he talking that talk, and you know how them VA dudes be doing. You know what I'm saying? They be really bloviating out this joint. You know what I'm saying? Talking out the side of their neck sometimes.
They do.
You know, sometimes they back it up though. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be rocking.
Dude's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So real quick, the offensive concerns, young, because we done talked about all the good about the offense. You know what I'm saying? JD, the wide receivers, the running backs, tight ends. Now we got to talk about the concern. And you know what the concern is. You know what I'm saying? It's the one spot that's going to derail us if we can't get it together, dog. You know what I'm saying? You got the center depth. That's going to deal with offensive line communication. You still installing a new system. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you're thinking about some other concerns, you got receiver, the wide receiver situation, like you were saying, it's a whole role distribution situation, right? How you going to divvy it up? Who does what? When? How? Where? Really, you got too many mouths to feed on offense, it feels like at this point, which is something we didn't say last week or 2 days ago, which is crazy. And then we got that backup quarterback evaluation, which really going to take place in the games and in the joint practices, and that's the only way we get to evaluate those skill position players that we was just alluding to. All right. So what's the big one for you, man? What's the big offensive concerns for you? Because I just rattled off a couple of them for me. But
I mean, I feel like the first one that you was talking about was the center position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily concerned about the position in itself, more so than like Nick Allegretti's health. Because I think if Nick Allegretti is healthy, I think that we'll have a decent center. I think that a lot of people start to NFL fans do a lot of groupthink, bro. Because this is the thing. You don't need like the most athletic specimen at the center position. You never needed that. I'll take a center that's sharp in the mental game than a physical specimen at the center position any day. Now, if you have both of them, that's an ideal center. But we have ideal pieces along other positions on the offensive line. We got the prototype left tackle. We got damn near the prototype right guard. Now, Josh Conerly can be developed, but guess what? He has an ideal prototypical skill set. Like you're not gonna have 5 blue chippers across the O-line in 3 years, especially when you don't have like buku draft capital and things of that nature. Like we don't have the Great Wall of Dallas of the 90s. Like that, the offensive lines are not even constructed like that anymore. So I think that people don't talk about how bad Tyler Biadasz was during the second
Man.
half of last season. And I'm in lockstep with Adam Peters and Dan Quinn. I know they haven't said it out of their mouths, but I know it's been reported that they didn't necessarily think that it was that big of a drop off between Allegretti and Tyler Biadasz. And I'm with them. So I'm not necessarily concerned about the center position other than Allegretti's health. Because I think you're going to get center play that you got last year, or if not better. And for those people to not acknowledge or not realize how average the center play was last year, it couldn't have been that bad. Like, it couldn't have been catastrophic. Like, because some people ain't even talking about it. Like people started to crash out when Tyler Biadasz was here, like he was a Pro Bowl center or something like that.
Yeah, no, I feel it when the news dropped that we was letting go Tyler, everybody was like, I just thought about Jalen Carter. I was like, man, look, we was going to
real I got bitch slapped.
Yeah, dog. Like, I don't want that on my team. Like, once that happened, I was like, I don't want that right in front of five. You gotta Young, you should have ended that battle, dog. Like, he should be just now recovering from the injury you gave him. I don't wish no injuries on nobody, but that man clearly disrespected that man. Clearly had no regard for his man rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, man law right. That's a man law, dog. You spit on me, you got to die. You got to die. Sorry, YouTube. That's just how I feel. All right, so we about to hit the top of the hour, young. So I want to give y'all a quick reset. If y'all new, subscribe up to the channel. Definitely go over to Bleeding B&G and subscribe up to his channel. You know what I'm saying? Like the stream up. This is a new show right here I'm trying out once a week. You know what I'm saying? You watching Commanders Reality Check, where we basically looking through and we trying to figure out what's real, what's hype, and what's need receipts, bro. All right, we supposed to have some more guests later on in the next half of the next hour or whatnot. We'll see if my man's are gonna pull up. And are we? You know what I'm saying, we already done went through a gambit of people. We done talked about Stefon, the change in receiver hierarchy, JD, David Blough's offense, the tight ends, the running backs, and some of the biggest offensive concerns for our beloved Washington Commanders. Okay. So during this second hour, we're going to go ahead and get into the defense, young, the biggest can't winners, you know what I'm saying? And really, our official real hype and needs receipt segment, dog. We're going to get into it real quick. But let me get through the chats real quick. Let me go through the chats real quick and just check y'all out. See what's what going on real quick while we take this little, you know? All right. That's my LB. What it do, fam? Yes, sir. What's up, Stefon? Appreciate you checking in on the early, my boy. Appreciate you checking in on the early. LB, once again, appreciate I don't know what that is, but yeah, that. Yeah, again, y'all smash that like button up, young. Just scrolling through this, seeing any questions in here regarding the offense that we might have missed. Yeah, Blickety Blough is definitely running a positionless program, just like DJ on the defensive side. That is one thing that is probably one of the best things to come out of camp, young, is the fact that the offense being installed and the defense being installed is some of the most exotic, intellectual, big brain shit that we can get out here, man. And it's some nerds going head to head every day. You know what I'm saying? They get out of practice and they can't wait to get to the film room to see what the other dude really was doing out there, so they can come back the next day. You know what I'm saying? Take their lunch. That's what it's about, man. It's good on good, even from the coaching perspective. So we straight. We real straight, bro. This is probably the best we done been since literally the day we drafted JD. You know what I'm saying? So we in a good spot, y'all. We in a good spot. What we got? Wet Windows guy says Traylon Burks is that dude. Yeah, that's exactly what Jalen said. He said he a dog. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see him. We got to stack days, stack plays. Stay healthy, bro. That's really what you need from him. Let me see. He said the button said I got Diggs losing to everyone is going to eat off him. I ain't mad at him. He gonna be a middle of the field demon when it comes to Stefon Diggs. It ain't really gonna be too much. Again, it ain't gonna be too much of him going 40 yards down the field and catching that. That's Terry game. All right. You're gonna see Stefon Diggs closer to the line of scrimmage, 15 yards and in, 20 yards and in type. You know what I'm saying? And if he gets some yak opportunity, he might give it to you on some crosses. You know what I'm saying? But again, this ain't 25-year-old Stefon Diggs no more. Although he is a year removed from his ACL injury. So he should have some of that explosion back if it was going to come back. That's the key. All right. Let me see what Small Talk talking about. Appreciate you always rocking Small Talk. They not messing with us. It's definitely up, and it's stuck. Word to Cardi. You know what I'm saying? Bring on Philly week 1. They about to get spooked. Hurts about to abandon ship the first quarter. Listen, man, if we can if we can go ahead and put them on notice week 1, that's all I need, bro. Week 1 and week 2, put both of them Bamas on notice. Start the year off 2-0. We good to go, man. I was never worried about them boys, no way. And now with Diggs here, I ain't worried about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got me hype about it, man. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead and switch back over to the defense. I'll get back to the chin in a little while. Let me see. What's up next here? Oh, we got to talk about Daronte Jones and his defense, dog. All right. Now, this is probably the highlight for me because the offense, we already know with JD5, we was going to be good regardless, man. We going to be good on offense as long as 5 is out here. But with Daronte, you know what I'm saying? I dropped a video this morning, and I was talking about the investment they made on the defensive side of the ball from the finances. All right, it's like $164 to $166 million that they've invested in the defense for just this year alone. Like, that's the salary for just 1 year. And that's like ranked 6th in the NFL. And you know, you see that number, you thinking, oh no, they gotta be top 6 at least. My boy was like, they gotta be top 6 at least. If they the 6th most expensive defense, they better be 6th ranked defense in the league. I ain't mad at that thought, you know what I'm saying, from a value perspective. And that did sound wonderful, you know what I'm saying, being that he said that on August 5th. But an aggressive defense, young, it can create sacks and turnovers, okay? Blown assignments and all that. But we got to figure out what we actually got, all right? So when you was out there on the field, when you was out there at the practices, and I know you're going to be at all of them, you're going to be out there tomorrow as well, can you already see a legitimate defensive identity from Daronte and his staff and his team? Oh, you on mute, bro.
My fault. I think being multiple is the identity. I think that's going to be our identity. I think that was the identity of the Minnesota Vikings. I really think that Daronte Jones is the understudy of Mike Zimmer and Brian Flores. So outside of being multiple, like, we're going to be a blitz-heavy attacking defense. So I think that that's the identity that this defense is going to, you know, make its name off of.
Facts. Now, I definitely believe that multiple aspect, multiple on offense and defense, and that's the crazy part. The fact that we got, like, as offenses sub out, we can sub out on defense as well. We got players that can do different things, multiple things. Now, I remember the funny topic when we first got Daronte Jones was who's going to play this role, who's going to play that role. You got that, and so we went to the Minnesota Vikings roster, and we was like, okay, who's going to play the Andrew Van Ginkel role? Who's going to play the Metellus role? Do you care that much about those roles anymore after you've been out there?
I mean, I think that there's guys that are going to play those roles. Like, I think that those are a thing. Like, I think that those are archetypes that you need in this defense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, Andrew Van Ginkel's like one-on-one. Like, he a freak of nature as far as like instincts and things of that nature. But the way that I saw Caleb Von Chason and Joshua Joseph dropping in the coverage when I was out there on Monday, I think that they can give you a little bit in that role. I think that Sonny Styles can be the Josh Metellus in that role while also being the Blake Cashman in this role.
That's what I thought he was going to be, a supercharged Blake Cashman.
I think he's going to be both, because I've said one of the reasons why I was always a proponent of bringing Sonny Styles in at the number 7 overall pick, because I know a lot of people were talking about, or the rhetoric and the narrative around that pick, and Sonny Styles early in the draft was like, you don't draft an off-ball linebacker that high. How many off-ball linebackers got the capability of playing the big nickel? So the fact that Sonny Styles has the capability of doing that, I think that he could be the Blake Cashman or the Josh Metellus in this role. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily like, I think that those are archetypes that's needed in this defense, but I think we got guys to fill
them. Okay. No, I'm rocking. I definitely think we got archetypes. And I think the reason why I said that question was because I feel like people was like really heavy on the influence that he was getting from Minnesota, which is key. That's a real thing. But I want people to realize this is going to be Daronte Jones' defense. Like, he's going to put his own flavor on it. You know what I'm saying? Just like how David Blough going to put his own flavor on that Ben Johnson influence. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to call it it's a Daronte blend. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how it's going to be. So I'm curious on how he uses all these different pieces, because I don't know if it was you or somebody else. They were talking about they seen Tyler Owens lining up at edge or some shit like that. Which that's Josh Metellus all day.
Yeah, I think I said that the other day, but I think it was somebody else that said that he did it even more one of the days that they was out of practice. It might have been yesterday. I don't remember who said it because I wasn't out there yesterday. I wasn't dealing with that monsoon that was in the DMV area.
Y'all was out there in the elements for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't dealing with that. But yeah, I did notice that. And like you said, it does come from the Josh Metellus playbook for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, T.O. looking for a sticking pad. You know what I'm saying? He just trying to stay on because it's getting tough out there. It's getting tough out there. Especially when you got UDFAs that's really free safeties out there. The Malik Washington cat. A real one. All right, so let me ask you about the complexity. With us playing Philly and Dallas and more, and with Philly, they don't have an established, this is their first year in their new offense. But they have all their pieces kind of been there already. Well, with Dallas, this is not their first year together or whatever. So got me a new member on the chat, Dickie Childs. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. New member to the channel. Definitely do that for your boy. I don't even be pushing it like that because that's up to y'all if y'all want to rock with the kid like that. Hey, but I appreciate you for appreciating me, my guy. My guy. Dickie Childs over that joint, man. Newest member to the channel, man. We're going to have some fun stuff for y'all this season as we continue to grow this joint up, young. Best believe. But nah, what I was saying was, I'm be honest, Dickie Childs threw me off. I forgot what I was talking about now. But all right, so let me ask you a different question about the defense, man. Because I feel like with Daronte Jones and the way that joint blending, like, do you feel like us going up against the Cowboys and the Eagles? I know where I was going now. The Cowboys and the Eagles. Do you think that the defense is it might be too complex? Now I get it, and I'm talking about again when I was out there watching. I ain't know what I was seeing. I ain't no NFL mind. You know what I'm saying? But I know a little bit about ball. You know what I'm saying? But it was taking me too long to process what the hell the play was over. And I'm sitting there trying to rewind. Okay. What did he do? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so do you think that joint might be that complex where, like, when we get to week 1, week 2, they done had to parse it down a whole lot? Or you think this team is, like, raring for the challenge and Daronte Jones is just that level of teaching?
I don't, because like you gotta look at this from my perspective and my brain. I think I told you before we got on the stream, I'm a teacher, right? So in Daronte Jones's introductory press conference, when he talked about IEPs, individualized education plan, he spoke my language. I deal with that every day, right? So
okay, so break that down for everybody on the channel that does not know what an IEP is.
An IEP is an individualized education plan. Those are given out specifically in the district that I work in with students with special education accommodations, but they can be for students that don't have them. IEP can be facilitated and accommodated for everybody, but specifically for like the SPED students that I work with, that's where we work with like a liaison, like a lawyer or maybe somebody of like child services or things of that nature. And we come up with a plan, whether that be like 30 minutes of small group time, 1 hour of digital literacy, whatever plan that we best come up with as like a village to best accommodate that student to get them to where they need to be as far as like baseline growth. And because you got like in education, you got certain standards, certain like grade level standards that are grade level standards across the entire country. So like a second grade is certain standards that all second graders, no matter if you're in public school, homeschool, whatever, y'all gonna be expected to know how to regroup in between 1 through 100 and things of that nature, right? So with the IEP, you're trying to come up with the best ways possible to prepare that student and accommodate that student to reach those specific standards. So when Daronte Jones said that, I'm sorry, I had to go all PBS on you real quick.
I like that joint though. I needed that. I just learned something, bro. Like, I could put that into what Daronte was saying now.
Yeah. So when Daronte Jones said that, like, I really was looking in with a keen eye, and he really like sparked my interest. I'm like, oh, he's talking to my teacher brain now. And this is a guy that said he has a teaching background. I've mentioned before he coached at my alma mater, so he's a fellow Bowie State Bulldog. So I'm gonna always be an advocate for Daronte Jones. So when he said that, I'm like, oh, let me pay more attention to him because like this guy is like super relatable. And I've only been in Richmond. I mean, I've only been at Ashburn for 1 day, but I will say this: you can tell that Daronte Jones has his defense prepared. He doesn't even have to do a lot of talking. He doesn't do a lot of talking when he was out there at Ashburn. But one thing that I did notice is every rotation of first, second strings or whatever the personnel group was, They knew when they were going out there, and it was almost like militant. It was like on one accord. So what that told me is that he did his work in the meeting room. He did his room. He did his work in the teaching room. He did his work on the whiteboard, like a teacher would do to have his team prepared. So that's why, even though I do think that this scheme is going to be complex. I do think that this scheme is going to be stressful on the mind power, on the brain power, and things of that nature. When you have a guy that gets you prepared, like a Daronte Jones, you're not as much in the line of fire because you are prepared, and you're not as much making like split minute rash decisions and things of that nature.
No, that's fire. I like the way you broke that down though. Like now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, when I was out there on Saturday, you're right. I saw David Blough doing more running around, you know what I'm saying, doing individualized coaching. It felt like Daronte Jones literally was just arms folded, sitting back there with his, I didn't even really get a chance. My boy pointed him out, he's like, yeah, there go DJ over there. I'm like, oh, he arms folded, he chilling. Now the position coaches, they getting involved, you know what I'm saying? They making all the noise, all the rah-rah. But yeah, you're right. Like, and that makes a lot of sense, man. That does put me at ease when it comes to thinking about some, like, cause you went to Bowie, I went to A&T, you know what I'm saying? And some of my best teachers, you're right, they did things differently. They taught the class, but when you got that one-on-one time with them, they would maybe break it down for you a different way, give you some of that real world, that IRL, in real life stuff, young. So I like the way you put that, Jayden, man. You gotta start flexing that more on the channel, bro. That was fire. That was fire.
Appreciate
you know what I'm
bro.
saying? So, cause the complexity, it did concern me a little bit. Cause I'm like, damn, young, like now I ain't a guru, but I'm just saying, like, we going against Saquon and them, and I know DJ, he ready. I know on the Billington board in the rooms, he probably got the players that he gonna be seeing. You know what I'm saying? All right, bet. Hold on real quick. Let me send this link real quick. But let me ask you another question while I send this little link off right quick. What player do you think benefits the most from DJ? From the way he teaches?
I'm sorry.
From Daronte Jones. Who do you think benefits the most from the way he teaches?
I'm gonna try to give you a player that was on this defense last year. That's
exactly what I want.
Yeah, because this defense was historically bad last year. Yeah,
you so nice.
I think that DJ can craft an IEP for Frankie Louvu that could get Frankie Louvu to be his 2024 self and potentially more. Because I already saw a little inkling and little like bits and pieces of the plan when I was out there in Ashburn.
Nah, I think Frankie Louvu, I did remember you saying that you think this might be the chance that Frankie Louvu get back to that all pro level Frankie Louvu. Now, if that's the case, damn, we in a good spot. That means that all our linebackers could be shit in the Pro Bowl. Like all three of them. That's crazy. Because I think Leo, when he got signed here, he was like, yo, I'm about to be the big dog. And then we brought in Sonny Styles, and he like, oh, I'm to pump my brakes a little bit. But then you hear Frankie Louvu with a green dot, and to your point, him taking the coaching the best and being able to communicate it out to everybody else, that makes his name ringing bells right now. That you made a good point there with Frankie for sure. Because in order for you to, a teacher wouldn't give you the green dot. That's like being the teacher's pet, not the teacher's pet, but the teacher's, the one that the teacher be like, hey, stop raising your hand. Like, you good. I know you know the answer.
You're the extension of the coach when you got that green dot. So that's faith in your hands at that point.
All right. Yep. No, you're right. You're right. Let me ask you another one. Can Washington disguise pressure without sacrificing discipline? What you think about that?
I asked that again. Can Washington what?
Can we disguise pressure without sacrificing discipline?
I think that's the question that we all try to find out. Like, yeah, I mean, we could, like, it sounds nice. Like, there's a scenario, there's a utopic world where that actually happens. But we got to see.
He digging in his vocabulary bag now.
We got to see it with the line of fire, though. Like, yeah, it can happen. And there's another side of that coin where it can go terribly bad because when those blitzes don't get home, and I don't think that we have an elite back seven, while I do think that it's improved from last year, And if those blitzes don't get home, then it's like you said earlier, bombs over Baghdad. But if
Boy,
that
it's
blitz
curtains.
does get home, and if those pressures do get home, and we get to the
Mhm.
quarterback like the rabid animals that we are expecting them to be, then you're going to get the Vikings against the Cowboys last year, where they practically blew the Cowboys out of the AT&T Stadium just simply because the Cowboys, who, and I don't like praising the Cowboys by any means, but they got one of the most firepower offenses in the NFL. It was the same thing last year. Go look at what the Minnesota Vikings did to that offense last year. Had them in the Matrix, had them in hell. So I expect us to do the same things. And I think, honestly, what the Minnesota Vikings did to the NFC East opponents last year kind of gave Daronte Jones a little feather in his cap when we were deciding who to go with for the defensive coordinator.
Okay. I like that little bit of conjecture right there. Before I ask you my next question, I got to shout out Zuriel Savoy. Appreciate you for the 10 jewels gold coin. Much appreciate you for appreciating us. We up. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you're new here, subscribe up to the channel, like this bad boy up, share this, join out to your favorite Commanders fan or anybody that's an NFC East rival or whatnot, because we be talking shit. You know what I'm saying? And we know we running this shit this year. This us. It's us. Ain't no number two, ain't no number three. We the one. We the one. We the one in the NFC East, and we finna be up for the next 10 to 15. Yeah. Get off me, yeah. That's all I'm saying about that. All right, let me ask you another question about the defense. We already know the real test don't start to the season. I know you didn't. I know you've done your, months ago. You did your season schedule recap. But now that we close and you didn't seen it with your own eyes, what do you think? What do you think the first real test is out the gate? Is it the Philadelphia Eagles with that first year offense, or is it the high-powered Dallas Cowboys? What do you think the hardest test going to be?
I think whenever you're going up against a divisional opponent, I think that's the measuring stick of all measuring.
We got two measuring sticks off the bat.
Yeah, so I mean, the first one got to be like the first real test. So I got to go with Philly at that point, because like they're the barometer for the division. Like I think they're the most recent team to win this division in back-to-back years.
For sure, since they did it with McNabb.
Before that, a team had did that for 20 years. So I mean, they got to be the first measuring stick because we can't overlook them. Because if we overlook them, I don't think that week one we're gonna be celebrating and being too happy.
All right. So which one do you think is the more difficult test between the two?
As far as going against their offense,
going against their offense. You
got Dallas for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you rocking with So you think Daronte Jones has a more difficult task with the Dallas offense than the Eagles offense?
Yeah, for sure.
Because the Eagles offense coming at you and they smash mouth.
I mean, but I mean, Dallas got two number one wide receivers, and I don't love our cornerback pairing. When I was out there on Monday, the first cornerbacks that ran out there was Mikey Sanderson and Amik Roberson. And while I don't expect them to start week one, if they do, Dallas will throw 35 fade balls to George Pickens in the end zone.
I mean, you're going to have to put Sonny Styles on at that point. No. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got about that. Okay. I ain't mad at that. I mean, for me, yeah, the first real test, definitely the first game of the season, the way the NFL set it up. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really give us no quarters, no quarter to kind of build on nothing. You know what I'm saying? We got to come out the gate swinging. And that's probably why the practices are as intense as they are. This question, I know you kind of alluded to just a second ago about the secondary. Do we have enough talent in the secondary to play as aggressive as Daronte Jones wants? And I know we don't know, but what is your opinion?
I mean, I think we got scheme fits in the secondary. I don't know about the talent yet, but I think that this scheme is better fit for this personnel that we have than whatever the fuck Joe Witt was trying to run last year. Because I think we're going to run a lot of zone-heavy principles. I think while I'm not the highest on Mikey Sanders still, I think that's the type of scheme that he needs. I think Rasul Douglas is going to excel in the zone coverage. Like, that's been his best type of coverage over the course of his 9-year NFL career. Right. I think Trey Amos has the capability of doing both, but I need to see him back out on the field. So, I mean, I think we got scheme fits, but I mean, I don't know about the talent. To be 100%.
Yeah, that's the juxtaposition right there. Like, as far as like, because you was just mentioning the Cowboys, and I was like, damn, I wonder, because if they started like, we just gonna spread these boys out, are we gonna be able to handle that? You know what I'm saying? That's the fit, but that's also the rub. I can't wait. I'm actually about to order NFL League Pass tonight. Where I get that If y'all don't know, you need to go ahead and get that joint ASAP. You got 10 more days to get it on sale. I live in Atlanta, so I ain't getting the Commanders in the you know what I'm saying, out here. Y'all like be blowing me for real.
You talking about Sunday ticket?
Yeah, the Sunday ticket jump. Yeah, I gotta get that joint, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I can watch. So let me move to the front seven for you, young, because this is probably the most exciting unit. Right? Them first 7 dudes on the squad, the front 7, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Odafe Oweh, Sonny Styles. Man, I'm gonna start with Odafe Oweh, man, because the man, I think who was it? Josh? I know it was Grant from Full Command. He's talking about yesterday. He was like, yeah, man, I saw Odafe Oweh chasing Jayden Daniels stride for stride up the field. And in years past, we've heard reports of Jayden Daniels getting out the pocket and just running past Bama's and smiling in practice. He ain't doing that no more. Odafe Oweh stride for stride and outweigh that man by 50 pounds. That got to be the scariest sight known to man, young. So with all that athleticism, you know what I'm saying? I think he got a pressure rated like something like 14, 15% or something like that. So it's pretty good. But his knock been finishing. Even though he got 17 and a half sacks in the last 2 years, he should have more than that. What is a fair sack expectation for this man, you think?
I think anywhere between like 11 to 15 sacks.
Okay. Damn, that's pretty good, though.
Yeah, I think anything over 15 would be astronomical for him.
That would be astronomical.
I've heard him talk about how Daronte has told him that he's going to get him in one-on-one situations like he was in San Diego. And that was what was opposed to, you know, what they were doing in Baltimore when his game started to fall off when Zach Orr became the defensive coordinator. Because when Mike McDonald was the defensive coordinator in Baltimore, Odafe Oweh looked like he was very well on his way to being $100 million guy. But then Zach Orr got there. I don't know if it was Odafe Oweh, but they talked about how in Baltimore they were having him like rush with too much of a pass rush plan. He was thinking too much. But then he got back out in LA with the Chargers, and he was just doing one-on-ones and just having to focus on beating this guy. So I heard him say, I think it was to WUSA 9, that Daronte Jones told him when he was coming on this free agent visit that you're going to be doing the same things here. So I think that's going to unlock his game, and the fact that he's going to be able to do that for an entire season, because he was traded after like 6 weeks last year, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that he still had 10 sacks with the Chargers. So the fact that he'll have those one-on-ones, hopefully, for an entire healthy season, I think anything between like 11 and 15 is reasonable and attainable.
And so because you started with 11, I'm just going to assume he needs double-digit sacks to justify his contract. Is that your thought?
Yeah.
Like you need double-digit sacks for $100 million.
Yeah, for $100 million man, of course.
Okay, because you don't want to hear that. Oh, he helped out. He got somebody else to get the sack. You want to see the stat sheet show he got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think he can become that alpha pass rusher, or you think that's Calevon Chason? Because I think Calevon Chason saw Odafe get that bread, and he like, but why didn't I get it? I've been doing this.
I think Odafe always going to be the leader and sack getter on his team. Because I think Calevon Chason is a little more versatile in what he can do. So I think he's going to be dropping a little bit more.
Okay.
And then they're going to have as many opportunities to attack the quarterback and then going against as many one-on-one, opportunities against offensive tackles and things of that nature. Not necessarily like a skill set thing between the two. I just think Odafe is going to have more pass rushing ops.
Are we overlooking Dorrance Armstrong? Because we talk about Joshua Joseph, we talk about him, we talk about Calevon, we talk about
Odafe. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Like we gotta see how he bounces back from a torn ACL. Like everybody don't bounce back from a torn ACL like Diggs. Sometimes that can be a career ender, right? You know, Chase Young tore his ACL in his second year and never really panned out to what we potentially thought he was going to be at some point in his career. Even though he had a solid season in New Orleans, he's still not the second overall pick that we thought we were going to get when we drafted in 2020. And I think that torn ACL, which that was all it was at the time, really derailed his career. So I mean, we got to see how he recovers, because it's like out of sight, out of mind. But I will say this: if we do get 80% of what Dorrance Armstrong was last year as like a designated pass rusher, oh my God.
Do you want to see Dorrance Armstrong playing any Leo? Or do you only want your DA moving forward?
Yeah, nah, I'm good off him dropping in coverage.
Okay. So that does limit his snaps. Because Joshua Joseph, that's his way to force his way into that edge rotation. Because I think Joshua Joseph plays in 2 rooms. But
Joshua Joseph got 2 good ACLs too.
He do, bro. And I said this day. I said I was at practice. I'm like, he came up and started signing autographs with the kids. I'm like, hey fam, this mama built like Will Anderson his rookie season, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, but he can cover. Yeah. I think you might have put look, bro. When I seen that from the clips the Commanders have put out long time ago to what we were seeing in training camp, seeing that man actually like flip his hips and actually run and cover his zone cover and everything. I seen him play some man up. I was like, okay, he got some good to him. I like that pick a lot. I think now I'm curious. Do you think that Joshua Joseph can play his way into a role where we don't need Kayvon Chase on next year? Where we basically like we're not bringing back the 1-year bandit?
I think
is that a thing or is that?
I think that's the plan. To be 100% honest with you, I think that's what they want to do. I think that's what they're honestly hoping for. I think that they hope that Kayvon Chase can give them a productive season where he honestly prices himself out of being a Washington Commander next year because they already have the succession plan in Joshua Joseph, because I do think that they have pretty redundant skill sets.
Okay. And what about JJB? Where he fall in this whole situation? Because he's in the 3rd year. I heard his name a little bit the other day. I'm like, okay, get spin move here, spin move there.
He got to get in where he fit in at this point.
Is that what it is? Damn. Yeah. It felt like when he was getting in the games back before he got injured, he was all right. But now it's like
that was like 4 edge rushes ago though.
It's almost like the linebacker room, right? With Jordan McGee. Jordan McGee when he was getting in the game last year, and I'm transitioning to the linebackers now. He just like was all right. You know what I'm saying? He had his mistakes, but then we go out and we absolutely revamp this linebacker room. You know what I'm saying? Bring in Leo Chenal. You know what I'm saying? To pair with Frankie Louvu. We was like, oh, we lit. We thought we were straight. We was like Frankie Louvu, Jordan McGee, and Leo Chenal. We gonna be all right. Then we go out and we get Sonny Styles, right? But the guy that, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna hold you. We was out there joining. My man was out there joining, took a picture. And I looked at him, I said, son, you gotta pause this, bro. I can't believe you just took a picture of this man with his shirt off, bro. What is you doing? I was like he caught that man like as he was pulling the shirt off. I'm like, bro, you are gay. Okay. Like, I don't get why you did that. But in the moment, I was like, bro, that man looks like he was created in the lab. Look like a my player. And I know you talked about Madden earlier. You a little blown today. You're not on the sticks, you know what I'm saying? But I know it was gonna be fun being able to just my player spot with Sonny Styles. I know that was gonna be lit.
Oh yeah, he might be the greatest Madden user of all time.
What is ranking? 79 or 78? I know they shaded him.
It don't matter. He got like 93 speed, 90 jump. That's all I need.
He know all his attributes. He ready, young. So are we moving too quickly already with the talented rookie? Are we like gassing him up too much? Do we need to pump our brakes in any way? Or has he been checking the boxes and we okay to be gassing?
Honestly, I've always been a big believer in not crowning people too early. But when you got it, you got it, and he got it. Like I've always been a big believer in like I know deference is a thing. But like if you a rookie and you way better than a 10-year vet, like I'm not going to be afraid to tell you that. I'm not going to be afraid to play you. And he got it, bro. We just not used to these type of talents in Washington, which is understandable. Like,
yeah,
not confident to this guy, but like this is like Sean Taylor coming to that 2004 Redskins. Like when you got that level of talent, wasn't nobody questioning Sean Taylor's talent. Like they was questioning maybe how his game was going to translate, what position was going to be his best position in the NFL, but wasn't nobody questioning if he was going to make an impact in the NFL. And I think it's the same thing with Sonny Styles.
I feel like as soon as you said Sean Taylor, my brain just started going back. That's like the only player, and I've been a fan for a long time. I've been a fan, young, you know what I'm saying, since Gus Farrat banged his head against the little goalpost joint and injured his shit. That's like my longest tenured memory. But I can remember everything Sean Taylor did, son. Like everything, son. Like what nobody sweeter in the white on whites. You know what I'm saying? Like the man, you remember that preseason game, that first game? I think that was a Hall of Fame game where he had the pick six, the first play.
Against the Broncos.
Bruh. That's when I knew. That's when I knew he was gonna be that. Now, if Sonny Styles come out here next week against the Dolphins and he get a pick against Malik Willis, because we gonna have Malik Willis in the Matrix next week. And I'm just letting y'all know. It's gonna be crazy. Looking for I need to go ahead and get Fubo TV or something so I can get these preseason games or NFL Plus or whatever it's called. You know what I'm saying? But because I gotta be locked in for them preseason games for sure. What do you think his biggest rookie challenge is gonna be, Sonny Styles?
Playing with leverage. I think that's the only weakness in his game. I mean, which is hard when you're a 6'5" linebacker. But yeah, I think that's going to be his biggest weakness. I think that's always going to be a weakness for him, though, because, I mean, he ain't going to shrink.
Yeah. Nah, he's only going to get a little bigger from now. He's 250. I think he probably fell out at about 260. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's going to be a problem. I think his biggest challenge in his rookie season is going to be, ironically, it will not be the speed of the game, but it will be I feel like the amount of situations they're going to put him in that he was not in Ohio State. Like, where he has to cut, like, for instance, we don't have a deep post safety. Is Sonny Styles our deep post linebacker? Is that what we doing here? You know what I'm saying?
I think
is he chasing that tight end? Is he chasing that tight end all the way up that seam? Is he chasing that slot receiver all the way up that seam, son? Because I mean, we trusting Jeremy Reeves to get over top of that?
I think we putting a little too much on his plate at that point. I mean, I get that he got the skill set to do it, but you don't want to pile it on him too much.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, that's not going to be his role, y'all. I was just playing, but what's his best role for him early in the season? Then is it just being off-ball linebacker, not dealing with the green dot situation at all, just being able to do his job in Rome? Or do you think he needs to have that responsibility of what he's going to have eventually in the future be tasked with doing?
I mean, I think he's going to be a defensive chess piece. So I think he's going to be that from the jump. So in his multiple defense, like I think you're going to see him all over the field. So, I mean, he'll probably play Mike majority of the time, but I don't ever think he's going to play that 100% of the snaps.
Do you think they're going to line him up as edge anytime?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking so too. Shout out Merle. Appreciate you, Merle. Garrett, 9120. Uncle Alert. You know, I'm settling into my little gray shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's all right. You know, my beard ain't looking like Jaylen's over there. I need to get some of the product he got. If y'all don't know, he sells his own beard juice and beard products. This is a free promo. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
And I'm definitely going to cop because I'm a connoisseur of those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? I like the oils and everything like that. Got to make sure you shop out here. Appreciate you, Merle, for sure. Appreciate you for appreciating us, my boy. All right, so what do you as far as the Jordan McGee? You mentioned how another third year guy in JJB, he got to get it how he live. Is that the same thing for Jordan McGee?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like being short, but yeah, like I used to have high hopes for Jordan. I used to have high hopes for Jordan McGee, but after that training camp practice the other day, I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan McGee doesn't make the team. I think he does, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't.
Oh no! Now I need to know what happened during the practice because I must.
I mean, nothing dramatic. He just didn't.
Oh, he's just not. I see what you're saying. I thought he was out here effing up, young. Dang. So yeah, I'm gonna just say with Jordan McGee, I feel like he was my favorite. He was one of my. I'm a linebacker. I was a former linebacker when I played football, so I always rock with the mics or whatever out of college. I'll be paying hella attention to them, and he was really good coming out of college. I guess the fact that we had I said the London Fletcher, a Bobby Wagner, you know what I'm saying, in the way, it might have stunted his growth a little bit. So that's what a lot of people in my comment sections be saying, oh, we need to get rid of B-Wags, this, that, the third. But I think with a real teacher in Daronte Jones, young, he might be able to get something out the man. He might be able to get something out the man. And if he doesn't, he got two people behind him that's really trying to get up. They trying to get out the practice squad room, out the special teams room. All right, and Kane Madrano and Ale Cahill. So Get to see what those boys is all about this preseason. I'm looking forward to that. Out of all the linebackers, not named. Nah, I ain't even gonna ask you that. Who's gonna have the best season out of all the linebackers?
The
Sonny,
best
Leo,
season?
or Frankie?
Sonny Styles. I mean, like I said, different level of talent. I like Frankie Louva. I like Leo Chanel. It's levels to this though.
I ain't mad at that. Now we gotta get to the worst part of the room. The secondary, Mo. Appreciate y'all for rocking, young. Like the video up, subscribe up, young. Subscribe up, young. We just chilling, just chopping about the goddamn squad because we got to figure out what's real, what's fake, you know what I'm saying, and everything in between. Now, the legitimate questions around the secondary, we got Rasul Douglas, you got Fabian Monroe, Jeremy Reeves is earning, these defensive opportunities now. He, because he's a major communicator, if you will, and he plays with his hair on fire. Still waiting on Trey Amos. Well, we're waiting on him to get cleared fully, if you will. We should be hearing about that. I guess we was going to hear about that today. Probably won't hear about that tomorrow before practice. And really, we got to figure out the rest of the safety room and things like that. So I guess the first question, do you think Rasul Douglas and Fabian Monroe have stabilized the outside cornerback situation with a Trey Amos on the men?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that there's substantial enough depth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting to see this latest injury update from Trey Amos. But I mean, I like Trey Amos and Rasul Douglas on the boundary repair. I like that.
Okay. Yeah, I like Rasul. He got a little dog in him for sure. He got some dog in him for sure. He don't have no back down either. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you watch them one-on-one drills. So I'm asking about Trey now because we got to see him get back. Is Fabian Monroe the Trey Amos insurance? Because I thought Rasul Douglas was the Trey Amos insurance. But it seemed like we needed another outside corner regardless. So Rasul fits that. You got a Kilo Witherspoon, he retired. You know what I'm saying? So is your man, what's your man name? I keep remembering his name. Fabian Monroe. Is he the Trey Amos insurance in case he's not right?
No, I mean, I think he's just substantial depth because I don't think anybody's going to be able to replace. I mean, I get what you're saying by insurance, but I mean, that's going to be hard to replace Trey Amos at this point in camp. I just think that I made a prediction that we was going to sign Fabian Monroe in May because I just saw the scheme fit. This is somebody that was with Daronte last year, bringing him back to DC. So I don't think they necessarily made that move with Trey Amos in mind.
Okay. Now we got to move to Mikey, young, with the little man syndrome. Hey, what's up with Mikey, man? Nickel outside. Is this probably the best defense he's going to be in? You think? What's your football eyes telling you?
That the fan base hype Mikey Sanders still, and
they listen to Nick Saban too much.
He's gonna keep disappointing y'all. If y'all don't listen to me, because I've been saying the same thing since his rookie year, which was a damn good rookie year. That's how you know when you had the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis and unbiased analysis. It just comes with what you gonna respond and react to the play. Mikey Sanders still always has physical limitations. And for somebody that's on the boundary now, because I don't think that he's a slot corner, light in the ass, not quick enough laterally, even though he does have some solid testing numbers. I've seen 2 seasons of guys kick his ass when they had 3-way goals coming from the slot. So, I mean, is he an outside receiver? You got a 5'9" receiver that doesn't have any top-end long speed. So, I mean, I like his ball instincts, pause. I think he can catch the football. Like, those are some good traits to have as a cornerback. But what good is it to be able to catch the football when you're not around it because you're getting cooked on routes? So, I mean.
Oh, man. That's a bar right there because, again, watching those one-on-ones, they tell me everything. I seen him. He was fighting. But Terry McLaurin is just Terry McLaurin. I saw Terry McLaurin set that man up with so many slow moves. He was like, "You thinking too much. I got you." And I'm just like, "This is crazy." So, yeah, I'd like Mikey, but I think Mikey is maybe akin to Quan Martin, where I need him closer to the football. I need him closer to the line of scrimmage. But then you said his size is a key. That size aspect, that size situation is really real for me because the teams we go against ain't got a lot of small, like they're not they don't have small slot receivers, if you will. They got bigger slots. Having them on the field, you got to deal with tight ends and things like that. And I mean, I think Daronte Jones, as the teacher, like you said, he gonna put these dudes in the most advantageous position. So that may mean less snaps for certain players, especially in certain situations. And Mikey might be one of those. I don't know. He's gonna definitely try Mikey out in the beginning in different areas, but I think him and Quan Martin is probably gonna become interchangeable in certain areas, man, just from a size aspect. Because as much as we don't like Quan Martin playing deep post, he can play some run coverage. He can play some in the box, if you will, play that 15-yard line of scrimmage type situation. Like you said, we're gonna be zone heavy as well, playing a little man here there. So we'll see how that works out, man. What do you think and everybody keep talking about Revo. Shout you out, Revo, man. Do your thing, bro. Make your name ring bells. But right now, is that the best safety combination out there, you think? Revo and Nick Cross?
That's the starting safety combination. I can't.
So when you go on Madden, what you doing? Let me just ask you like that.
If I'm playing Madden,
who you putting out there?
Let's
make it fun.
If I'm playing Madden, I'm putting Nick Cross and Tyler Owens back there.
Oh my God.
If I'm playing Madden.
That's nuts.
Yeah, Tyler Owens need to learn how to play football. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in IRL, in IRL, you doing is who and who?
It ain't what I'm doing. I'm telling you what they doing. That's been the only safety pairing that's been out there with the ones.
So what are you doing?
As far as who?
Your safety. Who are you doing? Yeah, in real life. You got to you call DJ up. You like, DJ, this is what I want. Who you telling him?
Nick Cross and Quan Martin.
Who your deep safety?
Interchangeable at that point.
Okay.
I'd argue that the Vikings last year didn't really have like a crazy deep safety because like Cameron
that's supposed to be Harrison Smith, right?
No, at what 37 years old, 38. I mean,
that's who he used to be.
That's who he used to be. Yeah, 5-6 years ago. And then Cam Bynum, I like Cam Bynum, but like, and he catches a lot of interceptions. I want to say he the rangiest though. I think he do a lot of good film study, but I don't think he the rangiest deep post safety.
I got you. I'm following you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Now, the Vikings definitely had a lot of no-name situations out there, joint. Oh, look like our guy just pulled up, man. Another guest that we supposed to have on. Young, let me pull everybody up, pull everybody into this joint. Hey, shout you out, Rio, for pulling up, man. Appreciate you for appreciating us, man. You know what I'm saying? Got the. This was my little super panel I wanted for my first episode. You know what I'm saying? Jaylen and Rio. Two guys that I definitely been rocking with for a long, long time. Rio, tell the people what you've been up to, my boy.
Yeah, man. Everywhere and posting about everything involving this team. I think I'll be out there at training camp tomorrow with this guy in the middle of the screen right now. What up, Jaylen? What up, gang?
What's up?
You know, we feeding the streets with Washington Commanders news, information, reactions, and opinions, man. What we always up to, man. What you want?
Man, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to get like y'all, man. Just trying to make sure I'm active out here, you know what I'm saying? Being seen with value, you know what I'm saying? That's all it's about, that quality tent. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what we talked about so far.
Okay.
And get you a quick rapid fire opinion, all right? So let's start you off with I'm going to start you off with the gauntlet, son. Grade the Stefon Diggs signing, A through F. What you got?
A+.
My man.
I already liked the room as it was. That's the cherry on top of the sundae with all the fixings and shit on it now, man. That's an A+ signing, bro. And I like how people were trying to piece it together the whole time. It happened on our time, and nothing comes out of the building if they don't want it.
Okay. Was it a luxury or necessity?
I think it's a little bit of both, man. It's definitely a necessity, but it's also a luxury as well. And Antonio Williams gets to age and develop gracefully at this point. And I think he gets a perfect mirror reflection of what his career could be if he hits and he puts in the work to grind and has the quarterback to deliver him the football.
All right. And I do agree with that. I think Antonio Williams is the biggest beneficiary. Just catching you back up. So who benefits the most besides JD? You said Antonio Williams. Or did you say Terry?
I said Antonio Williams,
Okay,
but yeah, Terry benefits from it too. I think Terry is in a tie with Jayden Daniels and Antonio. Well, this benefits all these guys. It makes Jayden Daniels' life much easier. Antonio Williams is going to see a lot of one-on-one looks versus your team's best corner. Bring your track shoes, and Terry McLaurin's he's never had an equal in the room. He's never had someone that diverts attention away from him, that has a full route package and that's as dangerous and go band for band statistically with him. So, I mean, we got 2,000-yard receivers now, man.
I got you. Before I finish the rapid fire with Rio, I want to give my man Jaylen a good shout out. Hey, make sure y'all follow him at Bleeding BNG. You know what I'm saying? I done had this man on for about an hour 40. You know what I'm saying? I apologize. I know you got to eat some lunch in you. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, son. Let everybody know. I already told them where they could find you, son. You got any words before you leave out, man?
At Bleeding BNG, at Bleeding Burgundy and Gold. Like we said before the stream, it's grind season. So I'm putting out content pretty much every day. So y'all make sure y'all tap into the channel. And yeah, I'll check on y'all on the flip side.
And he the voice of the Wizards, too, young. Tap in.
Wiz kids forever, man. I see you tomorrow, dog.
All right, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. All right, man. All right, back to Rio. Let me switch the stage up for y'all real quick, man.
So you got your elite on. I see you got that Elite 5 on.
Yo, you see me? Yeah, I had to do it, man. Hey, look, y'all show, we got Stefon Diggs. You got to put that shit on now. Like, it ain't no more, no more bullshit. No more replicas popping.
That elite white jersey, bro. Once you get one of those, you never want to get a replica screen print joint again.
Ever. Them joints is t-shirts. Straight up. Like,
that shit makes you want to put the pads on and step out on the field with the team.
Sometimes you need pads with these joints as big as they is. Like, they give you a lot of breathing room in these joints for sure. And it make you really think about how these players look in these jerseys without the pads. You like, bro, you fill that jersey out all the way. You know what I'm saying?
It'd be some stacked individuals, man.
That's a good way of putting it for sure. Let me get back to the rapid fire real quick. So who is the biggest? Who loses the most opportunities with Stefon Diggs coming in?
Probably Treylon Burks, because Treylon Burks was going to be a main character of the offense. I think he still gets his touches, but I think his touches have dwindled a bit now that we added a guy that's probably going to catch 60 to 70 passes for us in 2026. But the biggest loser is probably a guy like Van Jefferson, because Van Jefferson was staring at a spot on the roster, and he's right now probably staring at a spot at the top of the practice squad as our trusty, reliable, seasonal, on-call temp receiver, like the much better version of the Christopher Moore of last year. I keep the C-Mo legacy alive. I got to bring him up as many times as often. Last year was disgusting, but I carry a little bit of it with me everywhere I go, just because we're not going to be moving like that in 2020.
Yeah, you got to keep yourself honest. I feel you got to remember where you came from. You know what I'm saying? Who you was rolling with. All right, so who is the biggest offensive camp winner so far in your eyes?
The tight end room. Am I allowed to say a whole room?
You can say the whole room, because we talked about the tight end room. We got 4 tight ends out here that's out here balling. Every day they getting
flashing every day of practice. I'm not going to say Jayden, because we already know what Jayden is. We already know Jayden's like that. It should surprise nobody that he's already picking up the offense at this clip, and that he looks like the guy we know him to be. It's not Jayden. It's the tight end room, bro. Ben Sinnot's being featured daily. Colson Yankov's making plays daily. Lawrence Cager is getting reps with the ones and catching passes from Jayden Daniels. And y'all already know what Chig's going to do in this offense. Do not be overreacting to certain practices, Chig not being targeted that much. These practices are so specific in nature. There are days where he don't need to touch the football. And the tight end room is easily up there for me as a position that I did not expect to be one of the main characters of training camp so far.
Yep, nope, I agree with you. But I feel like whenever you look at a Ben Johnson offense, or Ben Johnson-esque offense, if you will, they physical as hell. And that start really with that offensive line and tight end room, you know what I'm saying? And the running backs. So, and we got 4 tight ends, we got 4 running backs, you know what I'm saying? We really got 5 tight ends for real, if you want to add in Lawrence Cager, you know what I'm saying? Because he definitely had that play of the day diving grab from 5, and I'm sitting there like, why is Jayden Daniels throwing Lawrence Cager the football?
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't know what David Blough's on. I don't know how he's trying to keep all these tight ends, but we gonna see. We are going to see. So let me switch to the defensive side. Who is the biggest defensive camp winner?
Odafe Oweh is every bit as advertised, and when we wrote him that bag in the spring, showing us everything we need to. Bro, I've seen speed and bend off the edge that I've never seen around these parts before. It's nice when it's not like he's proven anything yet, but it's nice when you write a big check to someone and they're showing up early and often at practice. How many times have the big money guys, the big acquisition guy, it takes them so long before we can start hearing their name called. Odafe Oweh is running fair fades with Laramie Tunsil in practice. So that should tell you about all you need to know about how 98's been looking at practice. He's a specimen, man. He is a height, weight, speed, rocked up specimen.
I am rocking. So let me ask you a question, because I asked Jaylen the same question. Being $100 million man, right? Are you okay with him being a pressure demon, or do you want him to actually finish and close, and he needs double-digit sacks to show that's the value, or can he create sacks for somebody else? What do you want?
There's a world where if his pressures are like ridiculously high and he's creating opportunities for other players and messing up the flow of offense from the other team, then that works. But I know me, I have an expectation. I expect to see him with double-digit sacks on this football team, because I see what type of motor he has, and I see him being a featured part of this defense. And I think Daronte's scheme, there's so much confusion and rotation that it's going to open up even more opportunities for him. I see no reason how this is not a 10. If this is not a 10-sack guy in 17 games played, I don't know what a 10-sack guy is. I saw Dante Fowler. I saw Von Miller somehow scrape together 9.5 sacks last year. If this brother's not a 10-sack guy on my football team, I don't know what one truly looks like.
Okay, I'm rocking. I'm rocking. So 10 sacks. What's your sack expectation, though? Knowing you looked at the schedule, you got your burgundy colored glasses on right now. You know what I'm saying? What's your sack total for Odafe Oweh in 2026?
12. I really want to say 12.5 plus, but give me 12. I think he's going to have 12 sacks minimum this year. I think he's going to have a couple games where he has like 3 sacks.
Are you willing to put that on your prize pick slip?
Hey, if they ever put Odafe Oweh's name on there, hell yeah, because I'm aggressive with it, man. Shout out to Ed. He keeps it real conservative on there. I'm aggressive. I'm hunting demons. So if Odafe Oweh's name,
Ed going 9.5.
Yeah, Ed go like 7.5.
Oh shit, he taking the not the goblin. What's it called?
Yeah, that's the goblin. The demon is what I'm going for. Yeah, but if they put Oweh's name up there, I'm taking the demon, bro. Because
I ain't mad at that. So that brings me to the other side of that line. So you got KC45, as Ed call him, Kaylavon Chason. I like that name though. I ain't gonna hold you. You got Kaylavon Chason out there joint. How many you think he a double-digit sack guy? You think he gonna get double-digit sacks, or you think because Jaylen mentioned the fact that he's gonna be doing other things, he's probably not gonna be that heavy sack guy? And I kind of agree, because I feel like him and Joshua Josephs are more in the same. They kind of in the same breath, if you will. How you feel about KC?
Man, Kaylavon Chason and Odafe Oweh, I feel like they're about to be the pairing that we always wanted Young and Sweat to be here. Okay. They're a little bit further along in their careers. We're getting guys that are hitting their stride, hitting their ceiling, and that have played a lot of football already. 2 former first-round picks. It took Chase Young 6 years to really put it together. These guys are around that age, 27, 28 years old. Kaylavon Chason is playing for a new contract. He could be the double-digit sack guy as well, man. They could be going band for band in the sack race over here in 2026. Everything I see with him too is versatility. There's plays where he's dropping into coverage, man. I love what I'm seeing from these edges. Those two and the rookie Joshua Joseph. That dude is athletic. I don't know how he got to us where he did.
Nah, he's nice. He's the goods for sure. He is the goods for sure. And now we did talk about Sonny Styles a little bit. All right, we talked about how he doesn't need to wear the green dot and things like that. But I want to ask you, what do you think his biggest challenge is going to be his rookie season?
Just letting the game slow down. The game slow down and not trying to wear more hats than you're required to your first year in the league. Let the game come to you, and until it does fully, use your athleticism as your superpower to guide you to where you need to be, because he's so freaky athletic that before he picks up all the skill, the nuance, and the play recognition, his athleticism is going to create opportunity for him. Lean into that. Lean into it.
He definitely Superman out there, joint. Now, let me ask you, because Joshua Joseph plays in 2 rooms. He plays on the edge and he plays in linebacker. Do you think, now I might have to go back a little bit, because I did ask Jalen this. Do you think Joshua Joseph is the Kaylavon Chason replacement?
Like the insurance policy for walks in a year?
Because if he go off like we thinking, Kaylavon gonna price himself out. We not gonna have $200 million edge rushes.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
I could definitely see that. And he might not even require $100 million, but if he balls out, yeah, there's a chance where we leave him.
If he get 12 sacks, he gonna get at least.
I'm sorry though. If he balls out, bro, we might as well just take care of those edges at this point, man.
I ain't mad at that. You saying having 2 bookends on both sides
ain't
of the
leaving,
ball.
so some money is opening up. And we're not gonna have a big money guy on the interior. You might as well take care of the exterior. I'm not ready yet to part with guys that could ball out for us. So
I ain't mad at that. No, me neither.
Have when we get there, but I think Joshua Joseph may be that Andrew Van Ginkel guy that we've been trying to project who it is all year. He's the chess piece, Swiss Army knife. Where's Waldo of the defense? Is he coming off the edge? Is he dropping in coverage? Is he coming on the stunt? Is he lined up off ball backer? Like, he's that guy that they anticipate being that role. I now believe Logan Paulson fully when he said that when we drafted him.
Okay, yeah, I'm rocking. I like me some Joshua Josephs for sure. And I mentioned Dorrance Armstrong because I feel like he's getting overlooked a little bit in the edge room Leo situation, but I know I know we don't like our Dorrance Armstrong doing anything but moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna limit his snaps for me. So back to Sonny though in his linebacker room. What do you see? What do you think about Jordan McGee? Where do you think this all? Because this is 3rd year, just like JJB, it is in the 3rd year in the edge room. You got another 3rd-year guy in linebacker, Jordan McGee. Is what it is at this point? He missed his opportunity, or what? Because we got Sonny Styles. Leo Chanel probably came in his joint and was like, "I'm about to be the man," and then we drafted Sonny, and he was like, "Oh, I got to pump my brakes just a little bit."
Yet Louvu's calling plays at practice.
Right. And then you got Louvu calling plays at practice. So that leaves Leo as now he's like the 3rd guy, if you will, in the linebacker pecking order. And then you got Jordan McGee behind him at the 4th guy. Then you got the 2 other cats, Oweh and Kane, right? So what do you think of this Jordan McGee cat? What do you think it is? What do you think is he on the squad coming in, you know what I'm saying? Is this his last real chance at making an impact on the team besides becoming a special teams guy?
Oh, it's definitely his last chance. He'll be on the roster for sure, I think. But
I mean, he'll be a cut candidate next season.
He hasn't been out there as much as I anticipated, but that just also means that Louvu is looking like screw loose Oos of 2 years ago, where he was a 2nd team All-Pro. But I think Jordan McGee is a guy that needs to play a lot of football this preseason. Not only at the joint practice, he need to be out there for quarters at a time in these preseason games. All 3 of them.
He will be, and he will be. You know, if I said I want to start an offense to play 5 quarters this preseason, shit, Jordan McGee probably need to play every quarter he can play this season.
Unfortunately, we will not see them starters for 5 quarters. We are not.
You don't think we're going to see them a quarter in the first game?
I don't think we're gonna see him for 5 quarters in the preseason. Let me
tell you
in the first preseason game. No,
let me tell you how I broke it down. You got the first game we're gonna play a quarter. All right. And the only reason we're gonna play a quarter is because it's gonna be 2 long possessions. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Then you got the second game, we're gonna play a half. No, I think I said 4 quarters. 4 quarters. They play 4 quarters in this preseason. I think I'll be all right. So give me 1, 2, and then 1. That's my wish.
No one's playing in the final preseason game. I'll let you know that right now. That is the Uber Driver Invitational. That is the roster bubble DC Defender Pipeline Special. Right.
I just feel like because of the way last year went, I need to see something.
I want them to play a bunch. I would love to see the starters play a quarter into the second quarter of the first game. I would like to see a whole half the second game. Here's what I think we're seeing. I don't think we see the starters except for select rookies and stuff in the first game. I think the second game you see Jayden for a quarter, and I think we won't see them again until September 13th.
You know what? Because of joint practices, I ain't mad at that. I think that's probably the case, man. Yeah, that's probably the case. I guess I'm just a fan that's thirsty for football at this point, yeah. So right when you joined, we was actually talking about probably the worst position group we got on the squad. And as you said, the DC defender pipeline, we probably got some Bammers on this in this unit that's going to be on the DC defenders, the secondary. You know what I'm saying? So legitimate questions. Again, I tell you, Rasul Douglas he a dog. He's showing the size, the experience, some of the playmaking ability. But now we got news that Revo, he the man. He the man at safety next to Nick Cross. Jaylen said that if he was playing Madden, he would put Tyler Owens back that joint next to Nick Cross, which is hilarious to me. But only in Madden, young. Trey Amos, we ain't got no word yet about his full recovery when he actually put in the, fully back. You know what I'm saying? So the question I got for you, did Rasul Douglas, in your eyes, stabilize the outside corner position?
For now, he did. And I think we're ultimately headed on a collision course to Rasul Douglas and Amos being the two starting guys on the outside by the time we get to September 13th. Like, he definitely
you most comfortable with that situation, right?
Yes, because I'm not hating. I'm not wishing the worst on. I want my second round pick, Mikey Sanders, still to be one of those guys out there. Rasul Douglas is a better option on the outside today on August 6th.
Yeah, it's that size for me, bro. Unless Mikey Sanders still can grow 2 inches in height, you know what I'm saying, or make his arms 3 inches longer, like an Amik Robertson.
Yeah, because he can.
That's why Amik can play on the outside, because Amik got long ass arms.
Yeah, long. Oh, he's small, but has long arm. Mikey's short, slow, and has short arms, and he be step for step in coverage, but he can't do nothing when the ball's in the air versus a tall receiver.
This is true. And I mean, they talking about having him in a nickel. I think him and Quan Martin going to be hella interchangeable in that nickel position based off of what's going on. If they talking about run heavy with tight ends and stuff like that, what we're going against, they're not going to have Mikey in the game. They're going to have Quan Martin probably playing that situation, to be honest with you. That's how I see it when it comes to that. Because, yeah. I mean, and I don't know. I think Amik might even play over Mikey at some points just because of, like you just said, the length that he possesses, that dogged mentality. Mikey's fine in the running game. He does get pushed around if them guards and shit get their hands on him, but which they probably will. But let me ask you a question. Do you think the secondary can survive if this pass rush takes some snaps off?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't think we have a natural free safety on the roster. I don't think we have a natural rangy free safety on the roster. And I'm concerned if Jeremy Reeves is the full-time starting free safety opposite Nick Cross. But I'm going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and a blank slate because we now have a real defensive coordinator with a real complex scheme. He may be able to put some of these guys in places that makes it advantageous for them to produce. But Jeremy Reeves, I love the intensity he plays with. I love the energy he plays with. He's a headhunter. I haven't seen enough from him over the years in coverage to believe that he's a starting free safety in the NFL.
I got you. I ain't mad at that. I am not mad at that. Now, all right, so listen, I don't know if I let you know, but you are one of the guests on this inaugural show. You know what I'm saying? And this show was called Commander's Reality Check, okay? So we have reached a portion of this show where we have to basically, we can't hide behind nothing, bro. We can't hide behind nothing. We going to put all these takes on a trial right quick, all right? Height, is it real? Or does it need receipts, man? So here are the rules of the game, all right? I'm going to give you a statement. You label it either real, hype, or it needs receipts.
Like we need more data on it type shit.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. All right? So we in like a little courtroom type shit. Give me the label first. Then you give me about 30 seconds or whatever to defend it.
Okay.
Hey, in the chat, y'all can play too as well. Young. Go ahead and get active in the chat.
Let's get it.
So the first question up is Stefon Diggs. Did Stefon Diggs make Washington a top 5 offense in the NFC?
Need receipts. But I think with a healthy Jayden Daniels and 2,000-yard receivers, I don't think it's hype. I think I need receipts, but I think there's a world where we're top 5, bro. We're going to have a balanced attack. Jayden's going to account for hundreds of rushing yards as well as the around 4,000 passing yards that he throws. So there's a world where we're going to be up there, bro. Our rushing attack was top 5 last year in a dead season. You know what? I think it's probably more real, but I'm going to put it in needs receipts. I think we're going to be around top 5 offense in the NFC. Jayden is him, bro.
Let me type it in the chat. Real hype needs receipts. That's all I want. That's all I want to hear from y'all. Let me know what y'all feel.
I could definitely see it.
Yeah, no, I think for me, I think it's real. I think it's real because of the way I think Jalen said it best. Bill going for 1,200 rushing yards. All right. Then you couple that in with Rashad White, Katron Allen. We talking about a 2,000 yard running back rushing yard situation at least. Then you couple that in with Jayden Daniels, like you just said, 4,000 yards. I actually got JD doing like 4,500. You know what I'm saying? I peeped y'all last night on Commanders Kings. I'm rocking with the 50 touchdowns. Okay, I want 50.
I would love that.
30 is great.
I don't know about. I can't shoot that high yet.
I'm only shooting at. That's like my stretch goal. Yeah. My realistic situation is 30 because we ain't had that. You know what I'm saying? In my lifetime.
I need that scratched off my bucket list so I know what it looks like.
Facts. That's real. That's real. Now, let me ask you this statement number 2. Terry McLaurin benefits more from the Stefon Diggs signing than anybody else. Real hype or needs receipts?
I feel like that's real. I think there's a couple people. I think you could make a conversation for Antonio Williams or Jayden Daniels, but it opens up a world where Terry McLaurin's not the focal point being taken away from other teams. You know, it's pick your poison now because we got code number 1 receivers. So, yeah, I can see that. I'll put that in the real tab.
Okay. Hold on, let me check my little. Oh, all right. Yeah, we straight. All right. Yeah, no, I'm actually going to say yeah just because he has never had an equal. And this is his first time having an equal. All right. This is every time I say equal, somebody be like, oh, no, he's not an equal. I'm like, that man about to have, 13,000 yards.
We're not going to do that because we start to have an unnecessarily toxic.
They start to do that. Yeah.
It's an unnecessarily toxic conversation, but we're not going to sit there and act like Stefon Diggs hasn't been a better receiver than Terry his whole life. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. No, the conversation hella toxic in the comment section. I ain't going to hold you. I had to delete one guy comment because I'm like, bro.
Because like if we're really stacking this up, Stefon Diggs the best receiver on the team, but we have 2 code number 1s, and Terry is a phenomenal receiver, and Terry didn't get to play with the quarterbacks that Stefon Diggs played with. But we don't have to lie, Craig.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I ain't gonna lie. That Josh Allen season 1, 1,500 yards. I mean,
he's done things that I've never seen a receiver do. Before, so.
Right. To your point, no affiliation. It's a necessary topic. Unnecessary topic for sure.
We got two of them. We don't need to compare and contrast, but one guy has about to have 1,000 catches, 12,000 yards, and 80 touchdowns. So what are we doing?
You know, and because he said that, let me pull up this one quick graphic because, you know, I'm the graphic monger out this joint, son. Just want y'all to know, young. Top 10 wide receivers by offensive grade in 2025. We got 2 of them. All right? That's all that matters. That's really all that matters, y'all. All right? Statement number 3. Jayden Daniels already has command of David Blough's offense. A level of mastery, if you will.
Real.
Is that real, hype, or needs receipts?
Real in all caps, bro. This is what Jayden Daniels does. Dan Quinn came to the podium and said he was surprised at how fast Jayden has picked up the offense. And there's a lot of stuff going on. So it just tells you the type of brain he has, how them VR be working, and how much work our guy puts in. That shit is real 3 times.
Yeah. Now, I ain't going to hold you. All the clips that they be dropping, they great. But if y'all can get a chance to go out to training camp and see that, man, like.
It's different.
It's different, dog. Like, it's different. Like, it make you want to be a season ticket holder. Like, it make you, he makes you want to be a season ticket holder. He makes you want to go into debt for that shit. For sure. Statement number 4, Antonio Williams will still have a meaningful rookie role even after we sign Stefon Diggs.
Hell yeah, real. Hell yeah, this just opens up more opportunities for him. Like, he's never going to have to be locked in on by the defense. He's going to see a lot of cornerback threes and a lot of slot guys, bro. Barbecue chicken. Bring your track shoes when he gets out there. We're going to
Yes,
have us
sir.
a nice three-headed monster at receiver, and he gets to develop and gracefully develop like young Jamison Crowder did when Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson on the outside.
I was just thinking out of my head. I'm like, this is the best trio that we've had since then. Point blank. You know, we haven't had a trio since then. Let me correct my statement. And a lot of teams don't have trios, y'all. So it's not a thing like that. But we got a trio. I might have to look into that. How many trios are currently in the NFL? I don't know the answer to that. Don't know the answer to that. It's not a trivia question, Rio. You do not have to start racking your brain, my boy. Number 5, Treylon Burks was on his way to winning the wide receiver 2 job before Stefon Diggs arrived. Real hype or needs receipts?
Hype. I
Mm-hmm.
think Luke McCaffrey's been better than him in training camp.
More consistent or just like
more
at a different level of hoopage?
Luke is making more plays than him, being targeted more, and he stands out more than Treylon Burks. And he already done missed a practice. That no more of that needs to be applied to your jacket. So I think you've used up all of your PTO in your NFL career so far. So yeah, Luke McCaffrey looks like the guy that was slotted to get more run. But I mean, Treylon Burks is out there with the starters on a consistent basis, though. So I could be wrong on that. But no, I don't think. I think Luke McCaffrey's been the next most impressive receiver running with the one.
I ain't gonna lie. When I watched those little one-on-one clips and I watched how Luke McCaffrey won that physical outside rep, I said, could Luke be an outside receiver for real? Could he have developed that? We'll see. Because that's what everybody think a wide receiver 2 is. Oh, he's the outside receiver. I'm all about target share. Who gets the second most targets and stuff like that? We had that conversation before Rio. Number 6 was Ben Sinnott is headed toward a breakout season. Real hype or needs receipts?
I don't know what a Ben Sinnott breakout season looks like in 2026, but it looks like he's going to actually get the ball. He's going to get some opportunities, and he will be a part of the offense. So I guess that is a real thing because I've never heard the name Ben Sinnott said this much during training camp, OTAs, or mandatory minicamp at any point of his career. So I have to believe that it's real at this point. And I think he should get a bunch of run in preseason so we can extra stamp this statement.
Yeah, I'm rocking. Staying with the tight ends, Colson Yankoff belongs in the conversation for tight end 2 behind behind Chig.
I mean, they're all flashing every day in camp. Colson Yankoff is good, man. He's a natural pass catch tight end. So, yes, I mean, they're all in the same bucket. Lawrence Cager, Ben Sinnott, and Colson Yankoff are making plays. They're all getting reps with the 1s and 2s, the 3s and the 4s, and they've been one of the biggest surprises of camp so far. So, yeah, Colson Yankoff is right there. I know, obviously, they're going to lean to the guy they drafted in the second round a couple years ago, but he definitely is in the mix for that spot, as a pass-catching tight end behind shit.
All right, and as we continue these questions, y'all, we playing the game. Real hype and needs receipts. If you're new to the channel, like the bad boy up. Subscribe to the joint. You know what I'm saying? I need that. Also, memberships are open. Supers is open. All of that good jazz, Mataz, man. Odafe Oweh will record double-digit sacks. We already did that.
Real.
So I'm thinking that's real. That got to be real. I feel like that has to be real. Like to basically give me the value that I need for that contract.
Yep.
Let me see. No, I don't want to ask you that one because that's not a question I care for.
I got one for you. Sonny Styles, 100 tackles as a rookie linebacker.
Real. I ain't even got to hesitate. Real.
I think so too.
I think Sonny Styles, I said this yesterday or day before yesterday. No, I think I said it on a video that I dropped this morning about the defensive finances because we got the 6th most expensive defense in the NFL this season.
Oof.
I think Sonny Styles is going to be the best linebacker in the NFL. Not this year, but once he becomes the best linebacker, he's going to be that for like 15 years. Straight up.
Future. Okay, I like that.
That's what I'm saying? He's going to be that guy. Like he's with Dan Quinn when he drafted Micah Parsons, and he was like, "Yo, I need him to be a stand-up linebacker." That's what Sonny Styles is actually going to be. The guy that can stand up and rush the passer from the edge rusher and cover. You know what I'm saying? Do it all. So that's my hope. Now let me ask you: has Daronte Jones fixed Washington's defense? Real hype or needs receipts?
Needs receipts, man. I gotta watch them play a football game against another team. Ain't nothing fixed before September 13th, y'all. Ain't nothing fixed. The only thing I know for sure going into week 1 is that Jayden Daniels is that guy.
Okay. Now let me ask you. Now I did ask Jalen this question. This is not part of the game.
Yep.
We got 2 divisional opponents right off the bat, and obviously those are our first real tests.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Which offense scares you more? The smash mouth identity of a Philadelphia Eagles, or the dynamicism of a Cowboys offense?
Oh, it's easily the Dallas Cowboys because Dak Prescott has been running amok on the NFC East for the majority of his career, and we don't know what we're doing ever versus the Dallas Cowboys. We become discombobulated when we get across the field from those boys. Dak be killing us. They be having Jayden in the Matrix, the same play action boot leak to a tight end is open for 20 years straight. That team just has a hold over. It's definitely the Dallas, and we got to figure that out this year, man.
I think Daronte Jones is the figuring out, because I think Jalen made this point, and it made me thinking about it as you said that. What did the Vikings do to the NFC East last year?
Yeah, they
blanked. They was blanking us. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that's what we got over here. You know what I'm saying? In our own division. So that leads me to the next real hype in these receipts questions. The Commanders will finish with a top 10 defense. Total defense.
But I think that's hype because I think that's a huge leap, bro. You jumping 20 spots. You know, we gotta.
They invested so much money though.
I think we're ahead of our skis. I think that's an unfair expectation to have, bro. Like, it's a big jump if we jump from 31st to 16th. If we're somewhere between 16th and 18th, as long as they're finding ways to turn the ball over and get to the other team's quarterback, that's good with me. And I think that's all Jayden needs to win. So I'm gonna put that as hype because I think fans are fooling themselves thinking that we're supposed to just be this elite defense off the rip. They can be a really good bro. The Jags and the Bears were not the best defenses in the league last year, but they turned that ball over better than everybody, bro. 23, 25 interceptions and turnovers. That type of thing is more of what I'm looking for. Impact over where they're ranked totally. And Jayden only needs you to be middle of the pack, and it's up for us because he doesn't even lose games if the team gives up less than 24 points. So I think I'm gonna put that in hype for right now.
All right, yeah, I'm in the same regard. I like, even though I did the video about the money, you know, I did say I wanted to be a top 10. That would kind of would validate, right, how much money they spent. But realistically, like you just said, moving up 2/3 of the league, that will put Daronte Jones in coordinator of the year. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not. If that happened, I'd be ecstatic. But I think that we are missing, like you said, that deep safety that's going to kind of hold us back a little bit from that. Because there's going to be some teams that's going to get some explosives off on us when the pressure is not getting it. That's just the nature of the beast. Yeah, if you could be 15 though with the top, if you could be 15 and still give me a top 10 offense, we golden.
Oh yeah,
we golden. All right. So last statement on this game right here. After adding Stefon Diggs, Washington has enough talent to win the NFC East comfortably.
I thought we had it before we got Diggs. With Diggs in the fold, absolutely we have enough talent to win the NFC East. I think 11 wins is probably what gets it done this year. I think the Eagles are still going to be a pretty good football team. Okay. I think offensively they're going to take a step back and they're going to miss A.J. Brown a lot more than they think so. And I'm not sure Jalen Hurts is the correct fit in a Sean Mannion offense. I think the Giants will be improved, but I'm not worried about them. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles, man. They're going to be tough teams to get through, and we need a fast start to get there. But I think with Jayden Daniels healthy for 17 weeks, with the defense we gave him and the weaponry he now has at his disposal, I don't see no reason why we can't win the NFC East. Ain't nobody winning this division 3 years in a row. So Philly eliminated automatically. It's between us and Rain Dakota Prescott's team. So
I agree with you. It's really real. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking before we even signed Diggs, I was a 10-win, 11-win kind of guy. I heard on one of the ESPN shows today, man, I'm gonna give with Diggs, you got to give Washington another 1 or 2 wins. I'm like, well, that would put me right in the top of the NFC, right at the top of the NFC. My bad. Because the NFC West don't have an easy schedule this year. No, they got to play the NFC East. Sorry, not sorry. You know what I'm saying? The NFC South, I ain't really worried about them too much. NFC North, we got some people to worry about over there for sure. But I'm good. I think we in good hands. I think so. Too. Now, I am going to switch over to another segment. This is the last segment, Jan. It's called Put It On Wax. All right. Now it's very similar to what we just did. But we're gonna ask the same questions. We basically gonna ask different questions. Rio answered a few of them in the beginning when we did the rundown, but I gotta ask him. I gotta ask some more questions because I got the man that got the post of the team, young. I peeped one of your posts earlier today on Instagram. I forget the young lady name that does the Giants channel, but she was like, "Yo, the teams be knowing these YouTubers." You know what I'm saying?
Nick,
I'm like,
my homie Nikki.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, oh damn, do they know little old me? They know little old me. Put me on with Nikki, so I need me a Giants person to talk to when we talk. You know what I'm saying? Put me on. But anyway, final questions, bro. Final questions. Biggest camp winners, dog. All right. Who was the biggest winner from the first week of camp?
Biggest winner from the first week of training camp? The coordinators. Because Daronte Jones' defense has been showing up on a consistent basis. In the last 3 or 4 days consecutively, David Blough's been in his bag, and we've heard a lot about the offense improving. So the biggest winner of camp so far are 2 new wet behind the ear offensive and defensive coordinators.
I agree with you. I think my biggest winners of the camp, of the first week of camp, is going to be the fan base. And I'm gonna say that because we fixed 2 holes that we had in our roster during the week, and we got to see with our own eyes what's going on, like you just said with the coordinators, how they teaching these players how it's actually being executed. To sign a Rasul Douglas and to sign a Stefon Diggs, so you got a corner and a wide receiver, those 2 premium positions that's going to matter, that's going to count directly to wins and losses, and whether or not we going to want to watch the defense play or the offense play, because like shit, if they trash, we trying to change the channel because we ain't trying to watch that shit.
But shout out AP, man. AP always working, man. Don't ever think he's not working out here.
That phone always on, bro. I don't know what kind of battery life he got. He probably got 3 cell phones though. But I do know they work on West Coast time if you haven't peeped the game.
Well, they definitely work on West Coast time.
Yeah, they work on West Coast time. So like y'all be looking for shit 10 o'clock in the morning, man, wait till 2 p.m. It's gonna pop. Every time. Oh, with that other day for the press conferences, we was waiting all day.
Oh, yeah.
It's about 6:30 p.m.
They didn't even tell us, bro. We didn't know till like 4 o'clock. David Harrison had to say, Rio, it's at 6 p.m., my guy. Yo, they left it up for the media, like, y'all gonna wait on us, bro. I was like, okay, so we get a prime time press conference.
I'm like, y'all had the media sitting up there joining all day. Yeah, all day. All right, so a preseason spotlight, right? Players to watch. Which one player absolutely has to perform during the preseason? I'll give you some time to think about that.
Treylon Burks needs to get out there and play during the Oh, you know what? Mikey Sanders still needs to play during the preseason. Mikey need to get his ass out there. And I'm not going to hold you. Trey Amos needs to get on a football field soon. So he might need to get out there with his second-round partner as well. I need to know that he can play football as well. I'm going to call it both of our second-round cornerbacks that we drafted in the first 2 years, they ass need to play preseason football this year. So them.
I ain't mad at that. I'm rocking with that. I'm rocking with that for sure. Because yeah, I was gonna say if we want this defense to even work right, we need Trey Amos. And we need Mikey, because those are our draft picks where we need to get return on our investment. Since you use those players, I'm gonna go to the offensive side of the ball. I'm gonna say the player that has to perform the most, Treylon Burks and Brandon Coleman. Okay. I've been hearing a lot about Chris Paul. How Chris Paul handling Jerzon Newton in one-on-ones. I think y'all might have been talking about that last night as well.
Yep.
Seen that going on X. I'm like, damn, everybody. And in my comments and my videos, they know I'm a Johnny Newton truther. I rock with Johnny.
Mhm.
They be every time Johnny ain't did shit in practice. I'm like, we don't know that. You know what I'm saying? But so maybe I need to add Johnny Newton to this too. Johnny Newton.
Oh my God, Johnny Newton's definitely on the list. I remember last year he was playing in the third preseason game with
Yes,
the
he was.
Uber
The whole
driver.
game.
Let's do it again because I don't know what Johnny Newton is, and we're in year 3. We need to find out who he is. So yeah, add him to the list.
Yeah, it's Johnny Newton for me, and it'll be Brandon Coleman because I think the trenches matter more now than the wide receiver room, just because we got Stefon Diggs. Although Traylon Burks is a different type of body, we don't have that receiver in the room. Yeah. Besides him, the way he did, I forget who that was. I seen him body up Rasul Douglas, and then I seen him on another one-on-one drill.
He bodied that boy.
I forgot who that was. Antonio Hamilton, maybe.
Yeah,
that was guarding him.
I know Antonio Hamilton got done dirty by a couple people.
Yeah. That's not no good for that boy. Right?
Yeah, Antonio Williams put him in the spin cycle.
Oh yeah, Antonio Williams is so good. Like they put a clip of that man.
Crews off, man.
3 steps, bro. He's stacking receipt. In 3 steps, he's stacking you. Now you in the trail technique. It's every nasty
time.
Work. Like
every time.
Yeah. So name one player whose stock has risen the most so far.
Luke McCaffrey and the tight end room not named Chigokonkwo. That all of them.
Yeah.
All of them. Luke McCaffrey's stock is rising for sure. Defensively, I'd say it's got to be Jeremy Reeves. He's the damn starting first free safety on the field. So I don't think there's no bigger winner of camp so far than Jeremy Reeves.
Nah, that's real. Revo, like I need a raise for all of this. I need a raise.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the biggest stock riser for sure, like you just said. On the offense, Luke McCaffrey, because his name is ringing bells out this joint.
Mm-hmm.
And he pressed out Mikey Sanders still.
He was throwing him. He was throwing him at Mikey, bro.
Yeah. And Jayden rocking. You know what I'm saying? Jayden rocking with Luke now because Jayden looking for Luke. I think Grant said that Luke caught the most passes in practice the other day.
Yep.
Jayden throwing them joints. It was at one time in their tenure, you heard Luke talking about, I'm going with the practice with Jayden at 5 o'clock in the morning. Then the season started and Jayden wasn't even looking for that man. I'm like, nah. But I guess that worked out. It's starting to work out now. You know what I'm saying? Jayden said, you got a little dog in you.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna let nobody bet you. I like that. On the defense, though, I'm gonna go with somebody different than Revo. And I'm gonna say it's Frankie Louvu. Because before the season started, people was like, nah, we gotta get rid of Frankie, bro. It's rap. He was trash last year. And I hate when people do have that what's the word I'm looking for? Not revisionist history, but the bias or whatever, because it's just some recency bias, right? I'm like, it happened. 2025 happened. Everybody on that roster was y'all like trash. The season was trash. Throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
2024 was cool for Frankie, but now he got a teacher in the room. And like I was talking with Jaylen about, him getting that green dot is basically almost like the teacher and Daronte acknowledging the fact that you are the best person that can teach what I'm teaching, that can teach it back. You know what I'm saying? Which that's everything. If you can teach it back, that means you fully understand it through and through.
His recall skills. Yep.
Exactly. Patia. You know what I'm talking
about? Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you, storyline that aged poorly. Which current camp storyline will look completely ridiculous by September when we start the games?
Training camp storyline that will look ridiculous by the time. That's a really good question.
Don't steal it for your own shows.
Oh no! What? That's a really good question, man. I think the one that's gonna look crazy by the time that we get to the season, I think we're gonna feel ridiculous about some of the conversations we had about the wide receiver. I know we added Stefon Diggs and that changes things, but I think when folks see this offense and see how the ball is spread, and you start to see Luke McCaffrey and Lane and Burks and Diami on the vertical game, when you start to see the guys making plays in the offense, I think people are going to be like, okay, I think we were wilding about the wide receiver. Yeah, obviously Diggs takes it to the moon now, but I think people are going to realize that, we were wilding over the summer.
All right, bet. I think, let me see for mine. The wide receiver one was a good one. I think the storyline that's going to age poorly is that the Commanders and Bill, like the whole Bill storyline. If you notice some of the tenor around the Commanders, you got a lot of the beat reporters that's trying to kind of force him to be not the RB1. If you read some of their stories, Rashad White this, K-Tron Allen that, and Bill is trying to become a complete running back. Bill came out and said, bro, I am a complete running back.
Yep.
I just ain't had the opportunities.
That boy pass blocking. That boy catching passes, man.
Bruh said, Leo, I know you got paid, but I need this job. And he was blocking his face off against Leo Chenal.
Mm-hmm.
Rashad White cannot say the same thing when he went up against Sonny Styles. No, sir. Sonny Styles is like, nah, not happening. So for me, it's the running back one story with Bill. And for you, it was the wide receiver room. I think that's two good ones. In the chat, I need y'all to put y'all bold predictions in the comments, young. All right, and look, this job like a court show almost. So this is legally binding. All right, I'm a copy this whole transcript. So whatever you put in the chat, I got you, cuz. I got you. Let me bring us back here. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta close this out eventually. Because your boy got to go back to the office. You feel me? Got to do some other work. All right. So this was the first episode of the weekly Commanders reality check. You know what I'm saying? I had my guy Jayden on to start the show. My man Rio on to finish the show. Appreciate both of them for pulling up, young. I needed that. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Again, sometimes I'm going to have guests. Sometimes I'm not, young. But some things from week one do appear real. You know, we kind of went through a lot of them. And some of them ain't. You know what I'm saying? And some things we got to kind of judge once we get to a real game. You know what I'm saying? We got training camp. Not training camp. We got joint practices next week. I hope that we get some footage out of joint practices. I don't know how we are. I don't even know. I don't think the fans are allowed to join. Are the fans allowed to join practice?
Oh, I'll be at joint practice. Hell yeah, we there. Season ticket holders.
I need somebody just to break the embargo. Okay, just break the embargo.
We could tweet about it, but there ain't gonna be no clips, bro.
That's all I need.
They already gonna push the They're gonna push that practice to the backfield because people putting too many clips out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm guilty. I'll be finding them joints on the internet. I'm like, push this to my channel, cuz we got to all see it. But to that regard, you know, I'm a lowly YouTuber, y'all. My bad. I'm hungry out here.
We all guilty, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Someone sent me the fight yesterday. Like, yo, post this on the timeline, bro. I said, all right. Hey, and respect to the team, there was a play connected to that. I didn't show the play. I just showed the little skirmish, the little squabble after.
This is the funny part. I seen you posted it. I snatched it off your joint and said, shout you out. I'm going to post it because I don't. I saw a lot. I liked it. I like seeing Luke McCaffrey. I like seeing that Mikey thought he was going to press out Jayden. Antonio Williams.
Well, Mikey grabbed both face masks like he Magneto.
And then almost got lifted off his feet by Luke. And Luke said, it looked like Mikey tried to calm him down. Luke hit him with the get off of me, cuz.
And don't hit my rookie. Don't hit my rookie.
Oh my God.
Boy.
And then you got Five jumping in and giving the
smiling and shit. You know Five was cheesing under his helmet. Hey, Mikey, why you let Luke do you like that? You know he was messing with the
giving that man the business, dog. Giving that man the business, dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my man Luke on you, Mikey.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking. And they all draft mates, so you know they talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So listen, man, I want y'all to definitely, y'all know what Rio at. Y'all know what with Jayden that he's over at Stunning Showtime. Check him out. Rio's at Rio Robinson Robinson 91. See, I be knowing all y'all joints, young. So we support everybody in the community, young. Make sure y'all check out the defensive analysis video for sure. 6th ranked most expensive defense in the entire NFL. So we've heavily invested in the squad, son. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good. Rio, you feeling good about the squad right now?
Yeah, we should be feeling lovely. And luckily, we're still in the early part of August, so we don't have Sundays to prove us wrong or humble us just yet. So talk your stuff, be confident, and this is the time for unrealistic expectations, man. So pop your stuff, man. We
winning 14 games. Y'all heard it.
We
pop
back.
My stuff.
We back.
Rio,
sure.
Much appreciated, bro. I appreciate you, young. What's real, what's hype, what needs receipts. We did that joint inaugural episode, y'all.
Let's get it.
Rio, man. Always love, brother.
Yes,
to the next one, dog. We out of here.